York.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
No Michael K.
And a good afternoon, everybody. It is indeed the Michael K. Show. Without Michael K., Jake Asman alongside Ty D. Butler with you on a day where the New York Knicks have a chance to head to the NBA Finals for the very first time since 1999. How we doing, Ty? I know I'm pumped for the Knicks. How are you feeling about our New York Knicks as they get set, take on the Cavs in a pivotal game number 4 tonight in Cleveland?
Listen, I'm hyped for Knicks fans. They have been waiting for this for a very long time. It's been building for the last half decade, and now you're seeing it culminate in an absolute throttling of the entirety of the Eastern Conference. The Hawks, who would have thought would have presented the biggest challenge to this team back in round 1, sweep the Sixers. They're going to sweep the Cavs. We saw them quit at the end of Game 3, and now they're going to the NBA Finals. So find me a Knicks fan who's not only not excited, but not on the type of wave of bring on whoever comes out the West, because I think we can beat them both. I disagree with that, but I'm excited for the Knicks fans, man.
We will certainly have to get into that because, you and I have been having this back and forth, going back to even Game 2. We were talking about it during the middle of that game about, who the Knicks would be better off facing and all that. But just from like a historical standpoint, Ty, I sit there as a Knicks fan and it's just hard to believe that we're here. Yeah. The Knicks coming into the year had expectations to get to this point for sure, but just the fact that they've been able to do it in the manner in which they've done it, we have not seen a New York team dominate a playoff run like this. You could argue maybe ever, like at least in modern times. Like I went back and, people will bring up the 98 Yankees, for example. Well, they were down 2-1 in the American League Championship Series. Here are the Knicks, and what is the equivalent of that? The Conference Finals, up 3-0. And the one thing that I think has been a little frustrating as a Knicks fan. At the end of the day, am I going to lose sleep over it? No, because let people hate. I'm enjoying this run. It seems like some have now moved the goalpost as saying, well, the Knicks' run of dominance, well, it's only because the Eastern Conference is not any good. And my counter to that, for those saying that, would be, well, where were all these people picking the Knicks at the beginning of the playoffs? Because I didn't have too many people going out there saying the Knicks are going to the finals. That wasn't a popular pick in each round. You've had plenty of people try and come up with reasons why the Knicks would lose to the Hawks. Oh, they're now taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, look what they just did to Boston. They're peaking at the right time. And this round as well, Cleveland just knocked off a 60-win Pistons team. They're going to be able to take out the Knicks. It kind of feels like there's a lot of Knicks haters out there trying to find reasons why the Knicks are in the spot that they're in.
I disagree with that, though. There were a lot of people picking the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference. The Hawks
going
series,
into the playoffs?
Yes, going into the playoffs. There were a lot of people who questioned if Detroit was ready for this moment should they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, especially when we had seen them not have a secondary scoring option or a secondary creator outside of Cade Cunningham, who was phenomenal, but you look up and down that roster, and there wasn't really much that you were scared of just from an offensive standpoint. You then get to the Celtics, who, yes, were crowned as the favorites, but then there is the whole aspect of how good can Jason Tatum be this quickly? And we saw he was awesome, but he then misses a Game 7 in that series against the Sixers. So I think sometimes we become victim to our own algorithm, and we treat that as reality, when big picture is just because we see it on social media doesn't mean everyone feels that way. So I would disagree with that take, but it also reminds me of, Jake, and I said this yesterday on the show, it's kind of karma. Because a lot of the Knicks fans were saying that about LeBron during his run through the 2010s. Well, how good is going to 8 straight NBA Finals? The East is whack. And now you are on the receiving end of some of that skepticism. And so, look, I agree with you from the standpoint of let's not move the goalposts for those who are making that point that the East is weak. Because, look, Detroit just simply wasn't good enough to get past round 2. Boston's simply not good enough to get past round 1, and that's not the fault of the New York Knicks. And so when you're 11-2 and 10 of your wins have been by double digits and your 2 losses are by 1 point each, it's hard to really hate on what this team is doing.
Ty D. Butler, Jake Asman in for Michael K. and also partly in for Don Hahn and Rosenberg with you till 3:30 today. The Mets playing a Memorial Day game, of course, so that is why we're on for the extra 30 minutes, taking you till Mets pregame. Yankees in action this afternoon. I'll tell you what, we're going to do a lot of basketball today, Ty, but it made sitting in the rain in Yankee Stadium all worth it yesterday when Aaron Judge is going to hit a walk-off home run. So not a bad weekend for the New York Captains with Brunson and company Saturday night, and then Aaron Judge hopefully breaking out of his slump with a walk-off win yesterday. Yankees now in Kansas City today. But that was a big win for the Yankees. We'll probably get lost in all the Knicks talk, but big win for the Yankees to at least get the split against the Rays yesterday at the stadium.
Yeah, and you can attest to this better because you were in the ballpark. But I would imagine, Jake, 99% of Yankee fans, no pun intended, despite Judge's struggles over the last 15 games, knew what was going to happen, and it exactly happened. I'm shocked that that's his first walk-off home run since 2022. Like, when I saw that, I couldn't believe it.
He's only had 4 in his career, which I thought was a little surprising. So cool to be there. And you know what was interesting? In real time, the ball goes over the right field fence. And then before Judge even got the first base, they started cranking out a little Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. So I see you with your Yankee hat on if you're watching the show on the station's YouTube channel. You can check out the show there. Ty's rocking the Yankee hat. And, of course, Yankees with a big win yesterday. They're taking on the Kansas City Royals this afternoon. But staying with the Nick conversation here, and we certainly want to hear from you on the phones at 800-919-3776. Like, just appreciate this, Nick fans. And I think the Nick fan is. But, like, the level of dominance, again, we just haven't seen this. Any of the teams I've rooted for, I've never had a stretch where you just are going into these games, you expect to win, and it's almost like that feel, is it too good to be true type of feeling. It's a special feeling right now, and I saw some Knicks fans say, well, wouldn't it be better if, let's say they lose tonight, gentlemen sweep them. Don't mess around. Don't play with your food. If you have a chance to sweep this series and get another 9 days off, you do it. You don't want to risk potential injury. Just look at what's happening in the series in the West. Both teams banged up. The longer it goes, you always set yourself up for that to potentially happen to your team. What if Brunson would have rolled an ankle in this Game 5 victory that Nick fans
how about this?
are trying to dream about?
We've seen a New York team go up 3-0 in a series,
right,
and then blow it. And so, baseball is different because, and I'm talking about the 0-4 Yankees-Red Sox, momentum goes as far as your next day's starting pitcher, and the Yankees have run out of starting pitching. The Knicks are not going to blow a 3-0 lead. Now, for you and I, Jake, and it might be different because you are a legitimate Knicks fan, I'm rooting for the Cavs to win this game tonight just because I would like to be in the Garden for Game 5 to watch it. But I understand the point that you're making is don't test fate, man. Take the days off. It allows OG, who I still don't believe is 100%, allows him to get more extra rest, and this team to continue to not deal with any type of resistance. The longer a series goes, you keep a team in it, they'll then have a chance. So I'm with you, man. Pack these boys up tonight. And I think it happens, by the way. The Cavs showed you at the end of Game 3, they want no parts of the rest of this series. They're ready for Cancun. This thing is cooked.
Well, don't tell that to Kenny Atkinson because analytically, Cleveland has actually won 2 of the first 3 games of this series, Ty.
Yeah, I think that's just him trying to keep his team engaged and locked in. It's a silly quote, and it made its rounds on social media. He's got to do something, man. Like, what are you as a head coach going into that locker room and saying?
Pack your bags for Cancun, boys.
But you can't, which you obviously can't do.
No, I guess I understand the point he's making. That's just a tough look. Can we acknowledge that's just a tough look? And that's what you're trying to sell.
It's actually something that if I told you a manager in baseball said it, you would guess that that's Aaron Boone, right? Like that's an Aaron Boone kind of quote from Kenny Atkinson.
David Stearns, I'm sure, loved that type of quote as well. It's all about analytics and that's how you build your team. But I digress. By the way, Mets getting swept in Miami. I mean, we mentioned the Yankees at the top. Get the Met mention in here. my God, you feel like you're building some momentum. You take the series from the Yankees. You win 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. You can't get swept by the Miami Marlins. You just can't. It's tough to take you seriously that you're going to make anything of your season when you go down to Miami. You don't score the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks are maybe the best thing to happen for the Mets because no one's focusing in on how inept they have been for most of this season.
Oh, for the Mets. How perfect was that? So I have this tweet that I found from back in September of last year, and you'll appreciate this. Let me pull it up. It was about – oh, here's the tweet. So, I tweeted this during the Jet game. I said, I'm already at the – if my life depended on it, would I rather watch Michael Clemens or Devin Williams part of the day? So it's going well.
Devin Williams. God. $51 million. And some Met fans, because I had a snarky tweet, watching the Mets blow the game with Williams in the ninth, giving up the walk-off grand slam. David Stearns and Devin Williams are perfect for each other, and someone tweeted me, that was his first bad outing in a while. I'm like, you enjoy him for $51 million then. My God.
Here's my problem with the Mets. It's hard for me to, yes, take you seriously when you're 8 games under 500 in May. And the counter to that is, we've seen teams turn it around. Like, look at the Mets from 24. Look at the Nationals. And I get that part. But what's the area of this team that you look at and you point to and say, all right, that is going to be what takes us over the top? Like, that's the reason we're going to win 15 of our next 20. Is it the bullpen? No. Is it our shoddy defense? Is it our offense that, they scored 3 runs this weekend? No. So there's no element of this team that I look at as good or great enough to overcome the deficit, the hole that they put themselves in, and it's why I can't take them serious as some kind of, worst to first or playoff contender. It's hard to do that right now, especially with all the injuries.
800-919-3776. We'll get to plenty of your calls on the show today. He's Ty D. Butler. My name is Jake Asman. We're sitting in for Michael K. and part of Don Hahn and Rosenberg. And another point just on the Mets, right? Like, you look at what this year was supposed to be. Like, it's so demoralizing just to be this bad after what happened last year, right? You change up the core and you're thinking things are going to be different. And at least last year, the Mets until June 13th were one of the best teams in baseball. In fact, I think they actually had the best record in baseball on that day. And from that point on to where we are now, to see where this team is, when it was all supposed to be different with new ownership coming in, it really is just hard to believe that it's gotten this bad. Like, you're not just bad, you're awful. 8 games under 500 with the payroll they have. I mean, again, the best thing for the Mets has been the Knicks basically covering up what the discussion would be. Because if this was a normal year, like what it was in the past where the Knicks are long gone and we're focused on the lottery from a Knicks standpoint, what do you think the conversation would be around the Mets right now? The heat on David Stearns, and there's a lot of it, it would reach, I think, a totally different stratosphere of criticism if the Knicks weren't basically providing cover for all the other teams in the city.
And we've had, if you go back the last 6 years in New York sports, like, we've had just total unmitigated disasters, right? Like the Verlander, Scherzer Mets, which I guess can be explained as those guys were old and, why did we ever buy into them? We had the Jets, right, 3 years ago with Rodgers, but that also can be explained by he tore his Achilles. We had the Brooklyn Nets, who were, supposed to win a championship. They get clipped in round 2. But again, explanation is Kyrie gets hurt, Harden gets hurt. And so you get to this Nets team that ends up being the biggest disaster of them all. And yes, they've had injuries. But even prior to that happening, they were awful. And to your point, last year, because of them getting off to a hot start, it allowed for them to be as bad as they were but still stay in it until literally the final day of the regular season. This year, that's not going to happen. Like, this thing, and I know we got to entertain the possibility of it because, again, it's baseball and we've seen turnarounds. This thing won't make it to the final part of the year. It's as bad as it gets, and I just don't see, again, the element of the team where you can look at it and say, all right, that's the reason for me to be optimistic.
Memorial Day is typically a day where a lot of people check the standings, kind of one of those tentpole dates in a baseball season, baseball calendar. And the Mets are 22-31, 13 and a half games behind the Atlanta Braves, and even the wild card just doesn't feel like that's a real thing for the Mets at this point. I guess they're still alive because it's, a watered down wild card situation when you get 3 teams in, but they're 7 out even from one of the wild card spots. And
But even that, Jake, it's like if they were in the American League, it would be different because, count the number of teams in the American League we consider to be really good, whereas the National League has, to this point, been a different animal, right? Like you've got the Braves, you've got the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Reds, the Dodgers, the Padres, like the Diamondbacks, all these teams that are hanging in there. And I made the mistake the other day of looking at their schedule post that Yankee series, and I think at the time it was like 13 of their next 16 games are against teams that are 500 or below. And the problem with analyzing it that way is all of those teams you're playing who you view as tomato cans look at you as a tomato can as well.
Right. It's like when we play the win game with like the Jets, and it's like, well, they could beat the Titans, they could beat the Raiders, they could beat the Dolphins. It's like, yeah,
And
but
those
those
same-
teams,
yeah,
they're doing the
they
same
look at
thing. They're like, you guys stink. It's like, no, you stink. We both stink. That's seemingly
It's the
problem.
Spider-Man meme, right? It's like, who stinks more?
I mean, just 2 runs in 3 games, swept by the Marlins. It's just, it's hard to believe.
But is it really hard to believe when the sample size is this large enough? It blows past the hard to believe, category. It's just what you've come to expect. It would actually be more harder to believe if the Mets go on a run. Like if they win 7 of 8, that's harder to believe.
Yeah, I at this point, I don't know what really keeps you interested. I suppose the younger players on the team. You want to see some of the young hitters they called up, Ben, Ewing, see what they could do, some of the pitchers. But it's tough, man. I do feel for the Met fan because
Do you really? When you send out tweets the way you did yesterday?
I don't like Devin Williams. I've been honest about that from the beginning. He's the reason why the Yankees didn't win the division last year, the amount of games he blew. I didn't like the fact that essentially the Yankee beard policy, it felt like it was changed to placate him, and he was terrible. At least go out there and be great if we're going to change a 40-year rule for the guy. So I've never been a Devin Williams fan. I just don't like the way David Stearns from the beginning handled the offseason. Like there was so much arrogance in his approach and run prevention, but then we're gonna have a bunch of guys playing out of position. So
made no sense.
I do feel for the Met fan, but I don't like Devin Williams, and I don't think David Stearns is very good at his job. And I think all the people blaming the manager, the real culprit for the Mets' woes, is to me the president of baseball operations who put this team together. Like I don't think Carlos Mendoza just forgot how to be a good manager. He took this team to Game 6 of the NLCS his first year. I understand since then it's been a mess, and maybe you just make a change because you make a change. Look at the Phillies and what they're doing now with Don Mattingly. But I get frustrated when I hear so many calls into the station, blame the manager, blame Mendoza, when this roster is so deeply flawed by the guy who put it together. He's supposed to be this baseball genius that the owner couldn't wait to hire.
And I think he had something like the 6th highest winning percentage during his time in Milwaukee. And what has to hurt more, right, Jake? Like the Knicks are what you thought the Mets could become once you get the change of ownership and then you bring in David Stearns, who at the time we thought was a baseball genius. 2022, they're trending towards something. They get bounced in the wild card round, but then they followed up that by missing the playoffs completely. But then 2024 happens, you're 2 wins away from the World Series, and you feel like there's some momentum building, and then they miss the playoffs completely. Whereas on the Knicks side of things, it's been like this steady trend upward, and it just that pales into comparison to what you're getting with the New York Mets. And so it's a disaster. And the problem I think Met fans are going to have to deal with is you want someone to pay for this. At the end of the season, it'll end up being Mendoza. But to your point, he's not at fault for the roster construction. I just find it hard to believe that at season's end, months removed from Cohen empowering Stearns to do all of this work during the offseason that just changed the entirety of the roster, that'll now end with him being fired. And so that has to annoy you as a Met fan.
I wonder if it gets uglier. And this is a last place team. Is there any chance there could be a change for both?
I just, because part of you has to feel like, do it with conviction, right? Like if you felt he was good enough months ago, like why has that now all of a sudden changed? So are you just going to get rid of him just because of, one just horrifically bad year, which would actually be 2 years in a row?
Right.
But the other side of that is, Yeah, man. Like, don't double down on what you know to be the issue.
Well, doesn't it feel like part of the reason the manager is still employed right now is so David
He could be
Stearns
the
has a
fall
fall
guy.
guy, right?
Yeah,
You got to have a fall
absolutely.
guy. Chris Carter told that to the rookies years ago. It kind of feels
Absolutely.
like Mendoza, the only reason why he has not been fired yet is so David Stearns has a fall guy. He already fired all of Mendoza's coaches at the end of last season. Here we are into this season, Memorial Day, you check the standings, and the Mets are worse. They have never played this bad with the level of expectations that they have.
If you can construct an argument that is built on this being a managerial flop, if you're David Stearns, then sure. Like, he's your fall guy, and you then get to continue. I actually think, and this might sound crazy, what's happening could end up being the best case scenario because you get to the trade deadline. Whatever assets you have, if such a thing exists on a team that's 8 games under 500 on May 25th, you can just sell them off and then kind of rebuild this thing going forward and have a makeshift situation.
We've seen that they have been sellers before with this owner. Like, he's not afraid to just hit the reset if he thinks his team's out of it. But, I mean, the fact that we're having this conversation on May 25th just speaks volumes on where the Mets are. One quick Met note here, and we will certainly get back into the Knicks conversation with Game 4 tonight. Knicks on the precipice of going to their first NBA Finals. I can't even believe it. I'm smiling as I'm saying it since 1999. No Juan Soto in the lineup again today as the Mets start their new series against the Reds. They have Marcus Semien batting cleanup in his .560 OPS. And this is what I mean. Like, let's be smarter than every other team. Let's bring in Marcus Semien, who's been on the decline the last couple of years, because we're trying to improve our defense and get out of Brandon Nimmo's contract, as if money matters to the richest owner in sports. Who cares about shaving off a couple of years on the back end, going from Nimmo's 5-year deal to the 3 left on Semien? Moves like that in real time, I second-guessed, and now here's Marcus Semien in his .560 OPS in your cleanup spot today as you're starting a Memorial Day weekend series here with without Juan Soto once again.
Yeah, it's a disaster. And it also doesn't help that, like, despite the Yankees' struggles in the last 15 games, like, they are now, and this stuff matters. I'm not trying to make this, the Yankee boys on the show versus Met fans and trying to kill them. But for that owner, it does matter when you juxtapose what's happening with the Mets with what we see going on with the Yankees. And again, they haven't played their best baseball, but we all expect them to be there in the dance come October as far as, like, representing the American League. And when you see what the Mets are doing, who won't be a participant in October, that one's going to hurt this owner who cares about stuff like that.
800-919-3776. One quick Yankee note on their lineup, which I saw was just posted a few minutes ago. The Yankees today have Anthony Volpe playing shortstop, Ty, and at third base, Jose Caballero. So the first kind of version of the Yankee infield with Volpe at short, and you could play Cabby all over the yard. And I like it because, again, I think at this point it should be just play your best guys. And the Yankees announced over the weekend that Volpe is going to start getting some work in at second base, which to me is smart. Make yourself as valuable of a baseball player as you could possibly be if you want to be on the big league roster, because Anthony Volpe, the shortstop, has not earned any starting job, but if he can make himself a valuable utility player, you'll take that over just him being a one-dimensional player who can only play one position.
And that also, to me, acknowledges that the Yankees really don't want to give up on this kid yet. And look, and he's had years to prove himself, but they at least viewed him as someone too talented to be involved in any trade. Like, he was this untouchable trade asset. And so to send him down and not have him be a part of this group would fly in the face of all the confidence they had in him. So, look, good for Volpe. He's going to continue to get an opportunity.
800-919, ESPN's the number. He's Ty Butler, at Ty D. Butler on social media, at Jake Asman. You could follow me there. You could tweet us throughout the show. We'll read some of the best responses over the air. Let's get a couple calls here. We're with you till 3:30 today on Memorial Day. We're taking you right till Mets pregame coverage on the station. Let's start off with Luca in Soho, who's first up on this version of the Michael K. Show. Hello, Luca.
Hi, Jake. What's up, guys? Orange and blue skies, baby. Even they can make up for the awful Memorial Day weekend weather. But hey, listen. are the rest of the, all these potential would-have-been candidates for the Knicks job kind of kicking themselves now, or is this like Mike Brown took them, made them who they are kind of thing? Because like Jason Kidd, this could have been him. Whoever else, this could have been them. So huge missed opportunity, but I'm super hyped. I don't want that to take away from the Knicks, but I'm just so happy for them, man. And shame on all those other guys who could have been here in this position too. Thanks, guys.
Luke, appreciate it. Well, with Kidd, it sounds like he was interested in the job, but the Dallas Mavericks didn't let him out of his contract. Like the coaches the Knicks reached out to, it's not like the Knicks could just poach him. They were contractually obligated to the teams that they were under contract with.
And now Kidd is unemployed, which is
amazing
an
how that
interesting
works.
turn of events. But yeah, man, you got to give credit to Mike Brown because he came in with impossible expectations, because it was kind of the Yankee conversation. Nothing you do in the regular season matters. And by the way, nothing you do in the first couple of playoff rounds matter, because your predecessor got them to Game 6 of the conference finals. So it was really NBA finals or bust. And he has answered every question, and now with them being on the precipice of getting there, he has shown you the difference in what his coaching style allows for this Knicks team and how it is and has fully unlocked their potential, because their offense looks better. Their bench has been empowered. These players come across as egoless. Mikal Bridges could be sitting at the end of a fourth quarter during that Hawks series, and now he's in here playing his best basketball. We saw Josh Hart in Game 1 get benched during that 22-point comeback. Follows that up with the career best game in Game 2. And so what he's allowed for this group, and now he has invited that culture of player empowerment, and he's not like a guy who won't listen to suggestions, I think has been pivotal for the Knicks during this entire season, and obviously during this run that we've seen of dominance so far in the postseason.
Well said. And one point I'd add on Mike Brown, I mean, I think he has been way better than Kenny Atkinson in this series. Like, it's been, the head-to-head matchup has not even been close there. And one thing that I love that Mike Brown did, he did it earlier in this series as well. He used Mitchell Robinson as bait for the Cavs to put themselves in the bonus in that Game 3. Robinson gets fouled. He pulls Robinson. Cavs go into the bonus, and the Knicks reap all the benefits. He's had answers to the test every time. They've made the right adjustments. And the sign of a really well-coached team is the fact that when the Knicks have needed others to step up, they've been able to rise to the occasion. They have been able to win in a multitude of different ways. And I was someone who didn't want them to get rid of Tom Thibodeau. I thought that'd be a mistake, too risky. Why mess with a good thing? Give Tibbs another chance with this core. But they're one win away, Ty, from validating that decision and the level of basketball the Knicks are playing at. Again, we're talking about historic stuff. No team has had a better 10-game stretch from a point differential than the 2026 New York Knicks right now.
And it's amazing, like, because you go through, like, the greatest teams in NBA history, like the 86 Celtics, those, Magic and Kareem Lakers teams. How about Jordan's Bulls, Kobe and Shaq's Lakers, like the 08 Celtics. Like, we've had LeBron, Wade, and Bosh's Heat, Katie and Steph's Warriors, and none of them have accomplished, like, the feats of what the Knicks have as far as point differential. Now, ultimately, we now have to change our expectations, right? Because it was just get to the NBA Finals. And when you're playing this well, you get to the Finals, and I don't care who comes out the West, whether it be the Spurs or the Thunder, it is going to be a massive disappointment if you don't win it. But the enjoyment of, being in the suite with you and Dave and how excited you guys are. Like, I even as a non-Knicks fan, I can appreciate that because I'm a hoops guy.
He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Aspen. We're in for Michael K. And 30 minutes of Don Hahn and Rosenberg today on Memorial Day. Of course, we acknowledge and want to pay homage to those who made the ultimate sacrifice on a day like today. We say thank you to all those and, of course, those families as well. He's Ty. I'm Jake. Your call's coming up. Knick fans, how we feeling? Should we get the brooms out tonight in Cleveland? 800-919 ESPN's the number. More coming up right here. It's 880 ESPN New York, the ESPN New York YouTube page, and, of course, the ESPN New York app.
The Knicks.
Dribble three over Harden. Shamet hits again. Landry Shamet cannot miss.
The Cavaliers.
And the New York Knicks are one game away from the NBA Finals. They have ripped the hearts out of another playoff opponent.
The Eastern Conference Finals.
This is just fantastic. What a time to be a Knicks fan.
Game 4 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Before you change the station, listen to this.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
The New York City Department of Correction offers countless career opportunities, from specialized units to leadership roles that support public safety and change lives for the better. It starts with one step: registering for the New York City Correction Officer exam. Earn over $109,000 after just 5.5 years. Benefits on day one, job security, pension at any age after 22 years of service. Go to nyc.gov/joindoc or search Join DOC. One career, many opportunities. Registration ends Friday. Take the test.
Well, it feels like everyone's getting knocked out by this cold and flu season, and we're not even done yet. People are getting hit harder and taking longer to recover. That's why I got so excited when I heard about this. I actually ordered one myself. I didn't even know something like this existed. A medical emergency kit that you can have at home before you get sick. Now, joining us now is Dr. Kelly Victory, Chief of Emergency and Disaster Medicine at the Wellness Company. Thank you for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, the Wellness Company has developed tools like the medical emergency kit to help people take control of their own health. What's really the mission behind that?
You're precisely correct. We decided that we should put into the hands of individuals the ability to be self-sufficient to a certain extent when it comes to things regarding their health for themselves and their families. We don't want people to have to be beholden to a system that can frequently be overwhelmed in the case of a disaster, natural or man-made, or in the case, for example, right now where we are seeing some supply chain disruption. So what we did was design a number of kits that give people access to prescription medications written specifically for them to treat a very broad range of potential medical problems. So there are antibiotics, antivirals, things to treat nausea and vomiting, medications to treat allergic reactions, and so forth. So it's a way of making sure that you have in your possession those medications that you would need to treat an urgent condition without having to go to see a doctor, go to the emergency department, or to an urgent care.
Well, I didn't even know that this was an option, and it just makes sense to be ready before something hits. So we thank you so much, Dr. Victory.
Thank you. This is what we call rational readiness, and it makes good sense for everyone.
Terrific. If you want to be prepared and have a medical emergency kit at home, you can go to urgentcarekit.com/880 and use promo code 880 to save $45.
Progressive presents ways to save money that aren't bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive.
Thanks again for taking me to the game, man. I can't wait to get in there. By the way, what's in the bag?
Oh, I bring my own hot dog and peanuts. Saves a ton.
Savvy. And what about the beach chairs?
Why buy seats when you can save big and bring your own?
We can't get in without tickets.
Tickets? What do you think the portable TV is for?
Don't save money pretending to go to the game. You could save hundreds by switching to Progressive. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in an all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Because when you're hauling kids, gear, snacks, and backpacks, space matters. And so does comfort. Just make sure they keep their cleats off the seats. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for details.
Happy Memorial Day. It's the Michael K. Show without Michael K. No Michael K. Jake Asman and Ty Butler with you. It's time for Game Time, which is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 3:40, Yankees are on the road facing the Kansas City Royals. 4:10, Mets host the Reds. Coverage begins right here on the station starting at 3:30, so we're taking you till 3:30 today. And, of course, 8 tonight, Knicks look to sweep the Cavs and reach the NBA Finals. Coverage begins on 1050 ESPN and the ESPN New York app starting at 7. Knicks coverage will join in progress on 880 ESPN New York following the conclusion of today's Mets broadcast. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey, Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Ty, it's so funny. Ever since someone pointed out that you have a strong resemblance to Mikal Bridges,
oh, man,
that's all I could think about when I see you on the YouTube stream right now. And look, I think it's a great thing to be compared to, a great person to be compared to, because I want to give Mikal Bridges his due. He's been phenomenal in these playoffs. Ever since he had the game against the Hawks where he didn't score, you talk about a guy that has stepped up and raised his game and has been so good on both ends of the floor. That's been Mikal Bridges, man. He has been everything and more that they envisioned he would be when they made that deal with the Nets going into the season 2 years ago. Just want to give him love, man, because he took it on the chin. A lot of criticism was levied his way, and just like Mike Brown is earning praise, and rightfully so, from the Knicks fan base, Mikal Bridges has been awesome, and the Nets should have asked for another 2 first-round picks. If he keeps playing like this and helps the Knicks, potentially win a championship.
Now, a very important question I want to pose to you. You ready?
I'm listening.
So if another radio station comes offering John Winthrop 5 first-round picks for me, you think I'm worth that?
I think you're worth at least 6.
Nice. I appreciate that.
I back my guys.
You back your guys.
You're one of my guys.
Yo, it's ridiculous. Because we talked about this yesterday on the show. Like, typically what happens to guys who succumb to this type of pressure in this market, you don't recover from it. We saw it with Julius Randle. Those things tend to go the other way. And not only has he recovered from it, but this is now back-to-back years where he's played his best basketball come to playoffs. And everyone talks about the 2 steals at the end of games 1 and 2 against the Celtics. But offensively, I thought he was pretty good too. Nothing compares to what we're seeing now, to the point where, Jake, when he misses a shot, you're just flummoxed because you're expecting every time he shoots for it to go in. And so, yeah, shout out to Bridges. It's a testament to coaching, because Breen talked about this on the broadcast in Game 3, that Mike Brown and that staff continues to show confidence in him. And when people were calling for his benching after the Knicks are down 2-1 in that Hawks series, he said, no, I'm not doing that. The same was the case for Josh Hart, who for 48 hours after Game 1 had to listen to folks question if he should be in the starting lineup of a team that, while in that starting lineup, has gone to back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals, which was disrespectful to Josh Hart.
Agreed.
And, in the words of Michael Jordan, he took it personally. And so that's what I love about this group. You listen to these Knicks press conferences, and I say this as a compliment, they're pretty boring. And you'd have every reason to get some spicy quotes, like, everything people were saying about Cat during his struggles. We talked about Bridges, his struggles, and same with Josh Hart. There would be multiple opportunities for those guys to heat at a moment after a frustrating performance while the fans are all over them to just give you that money quote that just lights up our radio station. And yet they haven't done that because these guys have put their egos to the side. They are locked into a solitary mission and goal, and that's about winning the championship. And you love that about this group. I don't think they're faking it. They really believe it doesn't matter who leads the team in scoring, doesn't matter who closes games. We just want to win.
And you're seeing a team come together, and it's incredibly unexpected given at times what this Knicks team looked like in the regular season and, of course, the moment of truth when they were down 2-1 to the Hawks. And in that game they lost to the Hawks where Bridges was held scoreless, that was when people were screaming, he needs to be benched. You can't start him. Mike Brown needs to make a move. Mikal Bridges was asked about his teammates having his back after the first few playoff games. Here is the Knicks star on that.
I think it's just more off the court than anything. I think just having my brothers around and, just living life and just being around each other, making jokes and doing whatever, just chilling and stuff. I think that's probably the biggest thing when I say about them, just hold me down and just, sometimes we talk about basketball, but sometimes you might just need to take your mind off of it and just be a human and whatever. And I think so close with a lot of guys on this team and, just them just being there and knowing that, I want to play better and especially to help the team win and they want that too. And just being around, hanging out, just definitely, helpful for me.
Ty, let me ask you this, as someone who's not a Knicks fan but covers this team closely like you do. if they make the NBA Finals but they don't win, is the Bridges trade worth it? To me as a fan, I'm saying it is because of what just going to the Finals means for this Knicks franchise. And they were aggressive. They got there. And you know what? If you ran into a better team, I could live with that. I'm not going to criticize the Knicks if they we assume they win one of these games here and they get to the Finals. As long as they don't embarrass themselves in the Finals, and I don't think they will, and Bridges isn't terrible. Like, I can't see myself looking back on that deal saying, what were they thinking? What a disaster. Is that just me being a Knicks fan, or do I have a right to feel that way?
No, I think it's a rational take, but I would pose a question to you before I answer it. When you make the Bridges trade, when you give up 5 first-round picks for a guy who's never been an All-Star, never been All-NBA, is that to simply get to the Finals or to win it?
I think the goal is to win it, but I think part of the goal in winning it is like sustained excellence. Like, you're putting this core together. You expect to have a window where you were competing for the championship for, let's say, a 4 to 5 year stretch. And we're in year 2 of this stretch where they've been title contenders.
So here's my take. If you get to the end of this 4 to 5 year window and you don't win the title, you can look back at many reasons why that happened. It could be injuries, but our team just wasn't good enough. And when you start to investigate why the team wasn't good enough, maybe one of the reasons was, man, we had ammunition to go level up, and we gave that away in the Bridges trade. Now, obviously, look, that conversation can be, I guess, put to the side when they get to the Finals as we're watching Bridges play his best stretch of basketball in a Knicks uniform. But I think we can revisit it years from now, like the Magic making the Desmond Bane trade, which was insane at the time. But they're going all in. We see teams make these trades. The Bucks going all in on Drew Holiday leads to a championship. Once we get our answer to the question of did you win the title, I think that's when we arrive at how good the trade was and whether it was worth it or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. You know what it kind of reminds me of? The Giancarlo Stanton conversation, right? Because with Stanton, you look at his career, the Yankees have not won a championship. They did go to the World Series. But Stanton, for all his issues in the regular season staying healthy, he's been their best playoff hitter in the Aaron Judge era. He's been a catalyst for the Yankees to have any sort of playoff success. It has started with him. They don't get to the World Series in 2024 without him. He was the ALCS MVP. So, look, Stanton, I think, is a better player overall.
Yeah, he's in the former league
Bridges,
MVP,
but
so it's different.
You know what I'm saying? Like, was the Stanton move, is it a failure if the Yankees don't win a championship? You could argue yes, but at the same time, like the fact that Stanton plays at his best in October when every Yankee fan says the regular season doesn't matter, it's what you do in the playoffs, and Stanton has delivered on that end. It's a fascinating conversation because he hasn't been available in the regular season. Bridges hasn't been great in the regular season, but here are the two players in New York who raise their game when the pressure is on them the most.
Here's why I like the comp. And again, like different players, right? Stanton, former league MVP, and we thought you were building a powerhouse with him and Judge. But again, it comes down to this. The Yankees don't win the title during this Stanton era. It goes back to like all the potential players or moves they missed out on because they traded for Stanton and that contract, which is the same thing as what we'll be saying about Bridges.
Suffering Jim tweeted us, who's a better postseason player, Bridges or Stanton? I would lean Stanton on this because, again, Bridges is really, really good in his role as like a complimentary piece. But, like, again, Stanton has played like Jalen Brunson has played in these playoffs at times, right? He's completely taken over games, taken over series for the Yankees, whereas, you know, Mikal Bridges has been really, really good, but he has not had to be the best player on the team like Jalen Brunson has been.
And Stanton now, a third all-time for the Yankees in postseason home runs behind just Jeter and Bernie. And with how the Yankees, you know, get to the postseason seemingly every year, he's going to have a chance to become number one all time. And so, yeah, like Stanton's the better postseason player for all the reasons you mentioned, plus like the historical dominance when it comes to, you know, the accomplishments and doing it with this franchise that has had all these legends.
He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asman. We're in for Michael K. and 30 minutes of Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you till 3:30 today on Memorial Day, 800-919. ESPN's the number. Quick break. We'll come back. Hit your calls. David and Lee, we see you. We're coming to you. Keep it right here. Ty and Jake with you till 3:30. It's ESPN New York, the ESPN New York app, and the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Did your dog just get groomed? She's got a pep in her step.
Actually, she's gotten famous.
She's one of 18 dogs on the New Jersey Dog Scratch-Offs from the New Jersey Lottery.
What?
Yeah, New Jersey voted, and 18 dogs were chosen.
Well, look at her.
It's gone to her head a bit.
Play the New Jersey Dog Scratch-Offs, featuring 18 real New Jersey dogs and a top prize of $200,000.
Oh, are you a famous doggy? Yes, you are.
Must be 18 years old to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Want to earn extra revenue for your business? Amazon Hub Delivery is looking for local business owners to assist with deliveries. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area on a schedule that works for you. With each package delivered, you'll gain extra revenue and exposure for your business. Plus, Amazon Hub Delivery makes it easy to get started. There's no upfront cost, delivery experience, or long-term contracts required. Sign up to learn more at Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Replacing your home's AC system isn't exactly pocket change. Let's be real. Most people don't have thousands of dollars just lying around. And that's why Sloman's makes staying cool affordable. Right now, Sloman's central air conditioning makes it easier than ever to upgrade without blowing your budget. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% financing for up to 18 months. Plus, every new system comes with a 5-year all-inclusive service plan, including annual system maintenance, filter replacements, and refrigerant. So there are no surprise costs down the road. Whether your system is outdated, your electric bills are through the roof, or your AC finally called it quits, Sloman's has a solution that works and a payment plan that actually makes sense. Call 516-932-7000. That's 516-932-7000. Or visit ac.slomans.com to schedule your free estimate today. Sloman's Central Air Conditioning. Because comfort shouldn't come with a price you can't afford. 18-month promo period. No payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey! My dad is bringing home the best birthday cake ever!
It was my 5th birthday, and my dad was bringing home the cake.
Should have been here a half hour ago.
The cake never made it, and neither did my dad.
911, what's your emergency?
That was the day a drunk driver killed my dad.
Daddy?
Impaired drivers take lives. Think.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Aired in cooperation with the New York State Broadcasters Association.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Another dominating step towards a championship.
And for the second consecutive season, the Knicks are on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Will this be the year the Knicks punch their ticket to the NBA Finals?
Inbound stolen by McBride, and then Brunson buries a far corner 3. 5 points for Brunson in about 3 seconds.
Thanks to all our New York Knicks partners this season, including Wild Turkey Bourbon, Citywide Window Cleaning, DraftKings, and Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine on ESPN New York.
The Michael K. Show right here on 880 ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app. No Michael K. Jake Asman and Ty Butler with you till 3:30 today. Mets and the Reds pregame coming your way on our station. Tonight, Knicks and the Cavs, Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks 1 win away from going to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. Hard to believe, but that is, in fact, the case. 800-919-3776. David and Elizabeth started off this segment. David, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day, gentlemen. Ty, Jake Asman. Let's get into it, gentlemen. So, look, not for nothing. I I'm still stuck. Like, it's a surreal moment, man, because like I told Bart and Chef a little bit ago, I'm just stuck because it's like, this team, they always either wet the bed or they let me down somehow, or, some of the days of, Melo not having help or the team's not being constructed the right way. I'm just really excited that, we're going to finally make it to the big dance. Like I was telling Bart and Chef, I'm getting like these cold chills, like, like when they call out the players. It's just a beautiful moment, man, and I'm just super excited. I hope we can get the job done. Yeah, man. Not for nothing. Like when they call the players, right? Like I was telling Chef and Bart, like I get a cold chill. Like not for nothing. Like if I'm about to play or I get excited,
David,
like I'm in there. Like
David, go get a COVID test, man. That flu thing running around. Those cold chills might be something different, baby. I just want to make sure you're good.
I feel you. The chill is just off, just me being excited and me enjoying my teams, man. It's a positive thing, not nothing as me being sick. But, before you gentlemen let me go, Jake, not for nothing, man, in Jetland, big Jet guy, both of you as well. What's going on, man? OTAs is coming up. I'm excited about that, man. I hope the team, shapes up real well and, we can get our neophytes to play really good and hopefully we can get a Knicks run out of our Jets. Appreciate it, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think you're going to be waiting a long time for that. David, but OTAs do start this week, so I think Thursday is the first one that's open for the media. Look, from a Jet standpoint, you're hoping the rookies give you something this year to get you excited about, among other things. But, here's my thing I could say about the Jets relating it to the Knicks. It just shows you if you hire the right people. I understand that people think Woody Johnson's a terrible owner. The record tells you he is. The track record says he's an awful owner. The same things people say about Woody Johnson today were said about James Dolan. Like, at the end of the day, if you hire the right people and stay out of the way, you could turn a miserable franchise around, and that's what the Knicks have been able to do.
Has anyone yet asked Leon Rose if he's interested in running the Jets?
I would love to just ask Leon Rose anything. He just doesn't talk. He just moves in silence.
It's worked for him. Listen, I never criticized him for that. Listen, would it be great for us to hear from him? And, people say he's a conduit to the fans. That man does not need to say a damn thing if his team is going to back-to-back NBA finals and reaching the finals for the first time since '99. It's working, man.
You would think he'd want to just take some credit or,
But why?
Let it swing around a little bit.
Isn't that symbolic of the entire team's attitude? I don't need credit. Let's just go out there and hoop.
Look, give him all the credit in the world for how he put this team together. There's no doubt. Like, if you're ranking the best executives in the city right now, he's running away with the number one spot. He's one of the best executives in sports. Again, look what he took over. Look at what the Knicks were. Look at the roster that he originally inherited. This was not a team that needed major lottery luck like what the Spurs were able to get with Wemby and some of the players on the Thunder. The Knicks were built through just shrewd trades, shrewd free agent signings. They were able to take some guys on the back end of the first round and develop them and turn them into pieces to use in different trades, like drafting a guy like Emmanuel Quickly. You already had R.J. Barrett. Well, you hire Tom Thibodeau. Barrett looks like a nice player, and quickly you could turn that into OG Anunoby. You're able to trade Cam Reddish and a protected first to get Josh Hart. They got ridiculed for signing Jalen Brunson to the deal that they did. It's one of the best free agent signings in the history of sports at this point. Just the way the Knicks were built, I think that's why this fan base is so in love with the team as well. It was just it hasn't just come out of nowhere. They have been building towards this each of the last couple of years, and Leon Rose has been a major part of all of this without question.
So how about this? Let's go back to 2012, after the Giants win that Super Bowl. And I ask you, Jake, power rank these teams in terms of next to win the championship. Like, who you feel best about as far as winning a championship. How low are the Knicks? Right? Because, like, the Jets had come off of back-to-back AFC championship games, and then they end up missing the playoffs, but they were in it until Christmas Eve, the Victor Cruz game, right? That we don't have to talk about. The Giants obviously coming off of a Super Bowl win. You've got, the Rangers, throw in the Yankees. The Yankees had 3 years removed from a World Series. I guess, like, show love to the Mets. The Knicks are probably at the bottom of that list. And now they might be the team to end this drought. And I'm talking about the four major sports. So with all due respect to, like, NYCFC and Liberty, like, they were they were not your number 1 or number 2, number 3 overall pick if we were just ranking teams based on the next to win a championship. Go back to 2012. That wasn't going to be the case.
I mean, it's not even close. I mean, if you just look at a couple years ago where this Knicks team was, like the fact that Dolan hires Leon Rose, he'd never been a GM before. He was a well-connected agent.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's been the guy, and I think Tom Thibodeau deserves an enormous amount of credit for all this because he was the guy that kind of raised the floor. Like that's the thing that the Nets now, not that a ton of people care about the Brooklyn Nets, but they've thrown away years tanking and hasn't worked. They need to just try and win games and be competitive. Raise your floor, build your team, make smart moves. And you look at what the Knicks originally did. Like the team that Tom Thibodeau took over had Julius Randle in place, had a young R.J. Barrett, but you still had like Elfrid Payton starting at point guard for them. Derrick Rose was their best player in the playoffs the year they lost to Trae Young and the Hawks in 5. But like again, they were building something. They made the Knicks a destination. They made them respectable. Like that's what a team like the Jets needs to hopefully do with a guy like Geno Smith coming back. Raise your floor, be a real franchise, and just make smart moves and build your team. And I think that's why the Knicks fan loves this group because getting to the finals tonight, obviously there's still work to be done, but it would at least be the culmination of like taking a step forward each of the last 4 years to get to a place they have not been in 27 years.
And then it's also starting to feel like destiny, right? Because game 1, how does one explain the Landry Shamet shot with 44 seconds left to tie the game, and then the Sam Merrill shot that
not
Mike
going
Green
in
almost pulls out a full bit. Like, how do you explain that sequence other than using the word destiny? Like those things, and then once the game goes to overtime, you knew the Cavs were shot. But those two shots, and then also OG, right? Like when he comes up hobbling with the hamstring, we're thinking, oh no, again, we get the 2024 PTSD, and it's like, no, he's actually not going to miss. He ends up missing in the next couple of games, but he's not out for the rest of the postseason. And he's come back, and he looked really good in Game 3. I thought that was one of the biggest stories. Like, all of this stuff feels like doorstep of destiny for the Knicks. Which,
yeah,
if
you
you're
don't
a fan,
think they have a chance against any team in the West.
Oh, you want to talk about that? We can do it.
We'll get into that at the start of the next hour. Despite Ty saying all these wonderful things about the basketball team that many of us root for, he doesn't think the Knicks have a chance. We'll get into that with Ty, plus plenty of your calls. Hour 1 in the books flew by, having some fun here on Memorial Day. We're in for Michael K. and DHR. Ty Butler, Jake Asman, till 3:30 today. You're listening to 880 ESPN New York, the ESPN New York app, and you can watch the show live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
From your neighborhood stop to the city and back, New Jersey Transit keeps your day moving. Reliable, convenient, and ready when you are. We're on this ride together. So keep aisles clear, use headphones, and be mindful of fellow riders. Small actions make a big difference, especially during travel times. New Jersey Transit. Ride together, ride better. Plan your trip at njtransit.com.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Hey, this is Chevy, managing partner at Precision Solar. We believe going solar should be simple, and it should make real financial sense. We manage the entire process from start to finish and offer flexible solar payment options designed around your goals. When the numbers work, solar can lower your monthly cost and give you predictable energy for decades. And if you refer someone who installs with us, you can earn up to $1,000. Visit PrecisionSolar.com to schedule your free home assessment.
The The Knicks.
Off the dribble three over Harden. Shamet hits again. Landry Shamet cannot miss.
The Cavaliers.
And the New York Knicks are one game away from the NBA Finals. They have ripped the hearts out of another playoff opponent.
The Eastern Conference Finals.
This is just fantastic. What a time to be a Knicks fan.
Game 4 coverage gets underway tonight at 7 on 880 and the ESPN New York app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
What's up, my friends? This is Francisco Lindor.
This is Devin Williams. This is Luke Weaver.
Bo Bichette here. You're listening to the home of New York Mets baseball.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
No Michael K, Jake Asman, Ty Butler with you till 3:30 here on Memorial Day. Hope everyone's having a great weekend, weather aside, because if it's going to rain, you know it's a weekend in the tri-state area. I saw something over the weekend, Ty. Someone put together a study of the last 3 years looking at the rain data in Central Park to determine why does it just feel like it always rains on the weekend, or is that actually true? And 74% of the time it rained on weekends over the last 3 years in summer months.
Amazing.
Like, it's crazy, man. And the only positive I could say is, at least if you're a sports fan, you have the Knicks, Yankees with a great win yesterday. So that's about all I could give you, because the weather's just been brutal this weekend.
I hated it, though, because it killed my Memorial Day weekend plans. Last weekend, I was in Jersey. Shout out to my brother Tyler, who graduated from school, college graduation. So we were out there, and I was pressing my family. I'm like, yo, it's been a minute since we've had a cookout in Bushwick. We got to bring that back this year. And everyone was on board. And then we just get a wipeout, a washout, which is just like deflating. Now, shout out to my wife, Cassie. She did the cookout in-house thing where, she went out, copped some burgers, some chicken, some sausages, and she let that thing ring off in the kitchen, so it was amazing. But I was looking forward to having that outside cookout, man, and we didn't get an opportunity to have that happen because of this rain. And now you see what the rest of the week looks like, right? All sunshine.
Of course.
All sunshine.
You can't make it up. It's just, it's been brutal. So there's actual data to support the fact that it's not just how you feel, everyone out there. It is true. Over the last 3 years in particular, it has rained 73% of the time in what is considered summer weekend months. So, like, starting this weekend, Memorial Day, the unofficial kickoff to summer, they say, through, like, sometime in, like, September, 73% of the time it's rained on the weekends. Just brutal.
Where's that guy, Dave Fisdale, who's got to take that for data? Because we've got some real hardcore and I respect the person who did the research. That's amazing.
Let me give you the guy's name, Trace Cohen. Shout out to you for somehow putting this study together here. Trace Cohen, at Trace_Cohen, broke down the weather in New York City. Take that for data. Boom.
How does Kenny Atkinson feel about those analytics?
No, analytically, we're sunny
winning
2 of the 3 days.
Yeah, analytically, I had a barbecue yesterday outside.
Hit the Kenny Atkinson sounder. Hit it, Tom Bauer. Hit it, Boombaka. Give me some analytics. Somebody play it.
Analytically, I think we've won 2 out of 3.
Congrats to Kenny Atkinson on the quote of the NBA playoffs. His team won't win, but he gave us the quote of the NBA playoffs. 800-919 ESPN's the number. We'll get back to your calls coming up. But, Ty, you had a tweet yesterday saying that you've been rocking with the Knicks, but they got no chance against either team in the West. Tell me why you feel that way, because I disagree with you.
Well, first and foremost, we want to get the tweet correct. If we're reciting it, let's not say, things that I didn't actually say. I didn't say they have no chance. What I said was I will be picking whoever comes out the West, and that's not hard for me. And this was, according to my mentions, viewed as like flagrant disrespect to the Knicks fans. And I think it's the last part of it that really struck a chord. And now people were taking receipts and, oh man, what's the term they use? Not liking the tweet. What is it that you do to keep it? Bookmarking it. Bookmarking it. They're bookmarking it. And I think the last part where I said this ain't hard for me. Here's the deal, man. I flatly think whoever comes out the Western Conference is winning the championship. If you're good enough to beat Oklahoma City, you're the best team in the league. Conversely, if you're good enough to beat San Antonio, you're the best team in the league. And that would be the case for whoever wins that series. It's not disrespect to the Knicks. I've praised them all year long. They've been sensational in the postseason. I just believe the finals will be a level up in competition, reminiscent of, we did the Yankee comp, that during that 24 run where you beat the Guardians, you beat the Royals, and then you get to the World Series, and now you're up against a juggernaut with the LA Dodgers. So it'll either be Oklahoma City going for their 8th straight series win and back-to-back titles with the 2-time league MVP, or a 62-win Spurs team with a 22-year-old phenom. Regardless, the Knicks won't have the best player in the series for the first time all playoffs, and they won't have home court for the first time. So my expectation is that they get beat. Vegas, by the way, agrees with me. This isn't some hot take. I see people, you're doing this for clicks. That's not a hot take. The criticism should be, well, way to go out on a limb, Ty. You're picking the best team in the NBA, a team that'll be favored to win. That should be the criticism, and not that I'm looking for clicks. Y'all are crazy.
Do you believe the Knicks have a chance, though, or do you?
Yes, they have a chance. I'm not saying that they have a zero chance to win. Once you're in the finals, you've got a chance. I felt that way about the Mavs against the Celtics in 24. Now they got beat in 5 games, but you've got a chance once you're in the finals. Last year, the Pacers get to Game 7. They had a chance, but given again that I think that they will be up against a better team, that's who I'm picking to win the series, and that's not a hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's a hot take if you say there's no chance they can win, which you're not saying. So I'm not gonna accuse you of having too hot of a take here. I get frustrated when I've seen some say it doesn't matter who they play, no chance. Then the Knicks can't beat either team. I fundamentally don't agree with that when I've watched the Western Conference Finals so far. Like the Thunder had 68 points last night with under 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're beatable. The Knicks have beaten the Spurs. And I get it, regular season. But still, I think the Knicks can match up with the Spurs. There's a lot of inexperience on that San Antonio team. This is their first run. I think the Knicks, with their playoff experience, with the rest differential they would get if, let's say, they close out tonight, with how well they're playing, I think they'd have a chance against either team. I think it would be a long series. Like OKC might be better on paper, but right now the Knicks, they're playing better than they are. They just are. I just think there's something with this Knicks team right now. They got something going.
You could say they're playing better, but they're playing a team that is better than any team the Knicks have faced.
100%. But
Oklahoma City went 8-0 through the first 2 rounds, and now they're up against a juggernaut. So yes, technically they're playing better, but the Knicks haven't played a Spurs team yet.
No, they have not. My confidence in the Knicks tells me that no matter who they played, I don't think they're losing in 4. I don't think they're losing in 5. I think it is a long series that could potentially go 7. Just like last year, no one gave Indiana a chance. And I think this Knicks team playing right now is better than that version of the Pacers team a year ago. And they took the Thunder to 7, for example. So I just think that it's disingenuous when so many people are saying, well, the Knicks, they're going to get swept. They have no chance. I think if you're just being honest and watching how the Knicks have played, they certainly have a chance against either of the teams they play in the finals.
A lot of people said this back in the 2018 playoffs when you had the Rockets and the Warriors in the conference finals, and then you've got what was left of the Cavs with LeBron and then like George Hill and Rodney Hood. People were saying that same thing going into the finals. So this is less about Knicks for clicks than it is like there is a precedent for it. When you see juggernauts two teams that you feel are the best in the NBA going at it, like that tends to lend itself to this type of commentary. I would also push back on, like I saw you tweeted, "Let's go Spurs," because I guess you're rooting for San Antonio. You think that's the easier matchup.
I'm rooting for a long series. I want them to go 7. I think the Knicks' best chance of, because they're going to be an underdog against either team, the Knicks' best chance of winning the NBA Finals, I believe, is if they close out Cleveland in 4, and the Spurs and the Thunder have to play a grueling 7-game series where they're susceptible for more injuries and just general fatigue. I think a big advantage the Knicks had over Cleveland is the rest. The Knicks have been the dominant team late in these games. In the second half of games, the Knicks have been able to take their play to another gear, and I think that's because they're rested and they're fully clicking. And I think if the Thunder and Spurs beat each other up for 7 games, and now we know it's going at least 6 with San Antonio winning Game 4 last night to even up the series, I think that bodes well for the Knicks' chances regardless who they play.
But you do get more rest ending on a Saturday, which would be Game 7, versus like what happened with Cleveland and with Philly, having to then play a Game 1 of the next series 48 hours later.
Correct.
I agree with you from the standpoint of this conference finals, if you are a Knicks fan, has gone perfectly because on your side of the bracket, you're up 3-0, right? Like that is the best case scenario. You're up 3-0. And then conversely, in the Western Conference Finals, you've had double overtimes. You've had injuries to both sides. A.J. Mitchell and J-Dub, those are massive injuries for Oklahoma City. We saw Dylan Harper. He get hurt. De'Aaron Fox missed the first 2 games. Those guys did come back yesterday. But if you are, to your point, the more rested team and the healthier team, I think that does give you a shot. But I'm still picking, and I think San Antonio, I picked the Spurs to win this series. I think San Antonio is winning the finals.
Which I can't say you're crazy for having that opinion at all. I just think, again, I'm not saying you're doing this, but I've seen some come out and say, well, the Knicks, they're going to get swept. This is all a fluke. They're just taking advantage of how awful the East is. And I just think that's so disingenuous because where were all these people saying this at the beginning of the playoffs? It was, well, Atlanta could be a real problem for the Knicks. They had the lowest odds of any of the top 3 seeds in their first round matchup. They finished the regular season with, the most recent best record in the sport in the second half. The Sixers, they beat Boston. So now, watch out. Embiid's rolling. Here they come. They're going to be able to beat the Knicks. And then once the Cavs beat Detroit, I heard people saying, well, they just knocked out a 60-win Pistons team. Watch out, Knicks. And then it all became Knicks have the easiest path. Let's invalidate their great run, and let's say that the West is going to destroy the Knicks no matter which team they end up playing. That's where I just think there's a lot of Knicks for clicks there, and there's Knicks hate. You're not doing that. I just think there's people out there that are.
Which is funny because, and not that I care too much, but you hop in the comments, and it's like the moment you are, doing what many people will do, pick the team favored to win the championship, you then become a hater, and it's like, someone just said, I'm mad because the Lakers are hot garbage. I don't know what the correlation is. I, as a hoops guy, am enjoying this run. I also care about being right. And so picking the Knicks to get to the finals, I have been rooting for them every step of the way because I want to be right about that. But that does not get in the way of my objectivity. And when I'm watching these games, what I come away from it thinking is, Wemby, as we all have seen, is pretty spectacular, and that Spurs roster is loaded. And so I don't know that any team has an answer for him. And if he's putting up 41 and 24 against the best defense in basketball, I think that he can maybe not sustain it to that level, but can be phenomenal in the finals. And with home court, with the athletes that they have, I just think San Antonio, and I think that, they're going to end up being the best team. And I also see, Jake, a lot of people rooting for the Spurs. Be careful what you root for. Be careful what you ask for because.
Well, you told me the other day in person, and granted, things have changed in both these series.
Yes.
This was Game 2. That if the Knicks played the Thunder, you told me the Knicks would lose in 5.
But what's
They'd have a
happened
better
since
chance
then?
against the Spurs. So you now
what's
think
happened since then?
Well, there's been injuries, and the Spurs have looked really good.
What's happened since then is, J-Dub, who we already knew was hurt. No team is better equipped to play without their second best player than Oklahoma City is, who did it for majority of the season and still ended up being the 1 seed. But then you add to that another significant injury in A.J. Mitchell, And now they just don't have shot creators. They don't have other guys who can beat you one-on-one outside of Shea. So, yes, that was my take. What was that, Thursday night or whatever it was. But things have changed since then when A.J. Mitchell has got a right calf strain.
And that's why the Knicks need to close out Cleveland tonight. You don't play with your food. To the Knicks fan that wants to see them clinch at the Garden, and Jalen Brunson recreates Patrick Ewing's arms going into the air when they're going to the finals during that '94 run. But that's my point on why. Look, if these two teams have the same amount of rest, fully healthy, yeah, the Thunder are better than the Knicks, and you could argue the Spurs are better than the Knicks. But they're not, because they're going to have to play a grueling 6, probably 7-game series there, and the Knicks are going to be able to rest up and take full advantage.
You got to root for OKC tomorrow night, because I think if the Spurs win Game 5 in Oklahoma City, the series is a wrap.
Well, the stats on Game 5, I mean, it's like 85% the team that wins Game 5 wins the series, though.
But it's also, like I mentioned, the injury stuff.
True. I just think the Knicks match up better with the Spurs overall because the Thunder are the defending champions. And usually, if you just look at the history of the NBA, and you know this, typically you got to lose before you can win. And this is like the first year the Spurs are on this magical run. Like Wembanyama's never played in the playoffs until this year. So I just think the Knicks' best chance would be you get a young Spurs team that's kind of just figuring it out for the first time. LeBron got swept in his first ever NBA Finals back in 2007. I just think if you're the Knicks, you have all this playoff experience. You have put this team together to get to this NBA Finals mark. You're playing your best ball. Your best chance is being well-rested, taking on a younger Spurs team that's just figuring it out for the very first time.
The blatant disrespect for Harrison Barnes, who's been to back-to-back finals and won a championship. I agree with you in that regard because it's also and that's what makes this thing so special. It's kind of unprecedented. I try to think of a team devoid of experience to this level that went on to win a championship. Like Magic, obviously, rookie year wins a title, but he at least had Kareem. So, Wemby, as arguably the best player in the league, 22 years old, first playoff run, doing this is pretty excellent. And look, I also got to point this out. Man, what a win for the NBA that would be if you get Knicks Spurs in the finals. They took a beating all year long, and rightfully so, with load management and tanking in the All-Star game. And if it culminates in the best player in the NBA up against the New York Knicks and that fan base that's starving, think about the ratings, think about the numbers that series is going to do. It'll be incredible.
Oh, man. I mean, you see the tickets that have already been sold for the NBA Finals. You got to pay $10,000 just to basically get in. It's crazy, man. It is out of control.
I saw someone put on Twitter yesterday that they copped some floor seats and that they paid $226,000 for a couple of courtside seats. Nuts. Get the Asmaniacs involved so they can do a little GoFundMe for Jake Asman. Get you a courtside seat. Your Asmaniacs are very loyal.
I'm just praying to the ESPN New York media credential gods that I get approved to go sit up in the Chase Bridge area, the Hyundai Bridge, whatever they're calling it, man. It's been definitely one of the coolest parts of this job is the opportunity to go to these playoff games. And I don't know about you, Ty, but that Game 1 comeback was the loudest I've ever heard any building ever, as the Knicks were mounting a historic 22-point comeback in the fourth quarter. That was just insane.
If I could borrow a button from my guys Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg, they do the congratulations you played yourself with the DJ Khaled beat or the DJ Khaled drop. Congratulations you played yourself to Ty Butler, who left right after the Cavs took that 22-point lead.
You left?
Well, because I had to get home to do the show. So I'm like, I gotta get back. And, instead of going to the studio, which was 10 minutes away, I regret this thing. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, how does that happen, Ty? Because I missed the Neesmith comeback last year in the playoffs. I missed the McCollum comeback in that Hawks series game 2. And now I miss Brunson against just torching James Harden for 7 straight minutes because I was coming back to do the show. And now I realize next time I'm in that spot, just take the L, go to the studio, don't try to get home.
If the Knicks are trailing in, let's assume they win tonight, risky, but for the sake of this point I'm about to make, next time they would play at home would be Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
Monday night, June 8th.
If the Knicks are trailing, you got to leave the building. If we get to the second half, we're in the fourth quarter, and they're trailing, you have to just leave. Because it seems like comebacks happen for the team that's trailing when you leave.
That's what Dawn, shout out to her, our suite attendant says to me. She's like, Ty, leave now. This is,
Get out.
down 22. This is where you need to make your grand exodus because crazy things happen once you exit. Like crazy things happen and comebacks. Literally the greatest win in franchise history in the playoffs. 22 points down.
Yeah, the greatest comeback and probably the best sporting event I'll ever be at live. Like, unless one of these NBA Finals games, if I'm lucky enough to go, ends up surpassing that, I find it hard to believe I'll experience a better game.
I thought it was the Xavier Gibson game a couple years ago.
That was the loudest I've ever heard a building until MSG the other night. That's for sure. It just, God, the pain of that one. But go back and listen, man. Like, just shows you, like, when you have a doormat franchise like what the Knicks have been, and now those are the loudest fans, man, because they're just starving for it.
And can I say this, yo? Listen, man, I don't want to out people. I'm leaving the Garden. Wasn't by myself. There's a lot of Knicks fans on that escalator with me exiting the building.
People left.
Oh, man, this was like 2013 Game 6 of the finals before the Ray Allen shot where Miami Heat fans are trying to get back into the building. I know you remember that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and go back to like the Monday Night Miracle, Jets-Dolphins.
Yeah.
Back in those days, you were allowed to go back into the building. Pre-9/11 security was a lot different. All the Jet fans trying to come back in as the Jets were down 30-7 in the fourth, mounting a comeback that night. 800-919-3776. He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asman. With you till 3:30 today. Let's hit the phones. Say hello to Lee in Manhattan, who's first up this hour. Lee, thanks for making the call. You're on the Michael K. Show here on ESPN New York.
Oh, Jake, Ty.
What's up, baby?
Jake, this is my first time talking with you, man. It's a pleasure.
Well, Lee, thanks for making the call, man.
First of all, let me say on this happy Memorial Day.
Yes, sir.
And respect to those who have served our country and those who are now still serving our country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up to them, man.
Jake, I'm going to try to compress this as quickly as I can because I know you got people waiting. Let me get my Mets out of the way first. I got to watch the Mets today before I watch the Knicks tonight. Let's see where we are after the All-Star break before y'all just throwing my Mets to the curb because I'm a lifelong Knicks fan and I'm a lifelong Mets fan. Okay? So don't just, I know you got all this money playing out there every day, not producing. Any team can be beaten on any given day.
Lee, can I just ask you one question? Let me just ask you one question, and we'll let you get to your Nick point.
Okay.
If the Mets are to turn this thing around, what is the part of their team that gives you the most confidence that can happen? Like, starting pitching gets hot, they go, or the offense pick. What are you looking at as you watch the Mets get swept by Miami and drop to 8 games under 500? What about this team do you think is going to spark the turnaround based on like tangible evidence of what we've seen so far?
What the Mets need to just do is simply go back to playing basic, fundamental baseball. You don't have to hit every ball out of the park, okay? These are professionals. This is not something that you have to explain to them. Look at the situation, okay? Take the situation as it comes. Don't try to be a hero because a hero's nothing but a sandwich, okay? Okay, we need some pitching. The bullpen is pretty good, okay? But it's those players that are out there on the field every day.
So literally nothing.
That have to play sound, fundamental baseball.
But Lee, nothing just changes magically. Like this has been who the Mets are this entire year. You go back to last year, different team, sure, but this has been an ongoing problem for a while now. I don't think you could blame any Met fan who just thinks the season is cooked. You're looking at the standings on Memorial Day. They're 13 and a half games out of first place.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Lee had to take a phone call.
Lee, thanks for the call.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He had a Nick point he wanted to make. That's sad.
Well, at least he has the Knicks to root for.
Yeah. And you'd rather that be the sequencing, right? Watch the Mets, get that miserable experience over with, into the Knicks game tonight. They clinch, going to the finals.
Does he need to watch the Mets, though?
He's a hardcore fan. Of course,
have it on in the background, but haven't you hit a point where like the losses no longer are very painful? Like, when do we hit that point? Like we're still at we're still in the anger phase, I guess, for someone like Lee who's still watching every game. But when does the apathy set in? Because that's the worst place you could be if you're a sports team where your fans just they don't care, they don't even watch the games, it's like whatever.
But it's funny, we're about to hit like the year the anniversary of when all the losing started. So think about it's been a year straight of losing.
It's June 13th. We're not even there yet. We still got a couple weeks.
We're a couple of weeks away. Maybe they do the inverse. They get to June 13th. They get red hot again based on guys, according to Lee, just simplifying the approach.
That's right. And start bunting. I was waiting for that part of Lee's call. Steve in Pearl River up next on the K Show with Ty and Jake in for Michael. Hello, Steve.
Hey, guys. I got to say that was one of the best segments I've heard in quite a while because it is very difficult to set aside fandom when you are evaluating stuff like that. And I appreciated that whole back and forth very much. I just want to, first I want to make a Kenny Atkinson comment. I know what Kenny Atkinson can do after this series is over. He can go work with David Stearns in an analytical la-la land, okay? Because what David Stearns did, I understand you don't want to sign Pete Alonso, but I'll tell you what. Everybody does advanced analytics. One of my favorite things is just basic analytics, and I like to combine runs scored and RBIs, okay? And I guarantee you, since Pete Alonso was a rookie, he's top 5, and he possibly number 1 in that particular category. That's run production. When that guy said he was concentrating on run prevention, he forgot to tell all the Met fans like Lee, who I feel really badly for, okay, that the run prevention that he was working on was for his own team. I mean, and it's not just the run production that he could not replace. How about the protection for Soto in the lineup that he neglected? All right. And that was just my Kenny Atkinson, linking it. So he can go work for David Stearns.
We said it earlier.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Again, analytically, the Cavs have won 2 of the first 3 games of the series, and analytically, the Mets were supposed to be a great team if you ask their president of baseball operations.
Yeah, I mean, how's that working out? So the David Stearns thing that you said earlier, I want to make this clear. I'm 100% in agreement with you because I said before the season, if the Mets miss the playoffs again, he's got to get fired. I just don't see Steve Cohen making that decision based on how much he empowered him last offseason.
And he's shown so much patience. I think way more patience than some thought. Didn't you think when Cohen took over he was going to be more Steinbrenner-like, right?
Those were the comps.
George Steinbrenner would have fired Carlos Mendoza 7 times already this year if the roles were reversed and Steinbrenner was owning the Mets in this scenario.
Yeah, but I just don't think. Well, and first of all, that's not the healthiest way to run an operation, to be that emotionally, topsy-turvy roller coaster as far as just making those types of hard-hitting decisions every time you reflexively feel like it. But I just don't see it happening. And I think that he will get another offseason to correct this. But the moment we hit May 25th next year and the Mets are still struggling, that has to be the A block of every Mets segment. What is David Stearns still doing here? Because he's made them worse.
And let me say this about David Stearns, because I just saw this from SNY Mets. Carlos Mendoza at his press conference today said that when Jorge Polanco does return, he's going to primarily be the designated hitter while getting, quote, a game or 2 at first base. This is what I never understood with Stearns' plan for the Mets. Polanco had about 70% of his reps at DH for the Mariners last year. He talked about run prevention. We couldn't bring Pete Alonso back. No, couldn't give a 5-year contract to him, as if money actually matters to Steve Cohen. But okay, can't bring back Alonso. Let's blame it on the defense. Let's say we got to get younger, run prevention, all this nonsense. So we're going to bring in Polanco, play him out of position, and that move has not just been bad. It has been horrific. The guy can't play. He's been hurt. Wasn't good in the brief appearances we saw from him. Again, other than really signing Clay Holmes, What move has David Stearns made the last couple of years that has actually worked? It's crazy. You go through all the big moves, starting really, especially with the deadline last year when the Mets desperately needed to get things right to save their season. None of it worked. And again, Polanco now, he's going to be a DH. He used Mr. Run Prevention, though. He was going to be the solution at first base, even though he's never played there before. Unbelievable.
That's going to be a quote that it just ages so poorly. It would be like Leon Rose saying, hey, you know what went wrong for us this year? Not enough shooters, and then we bring in a bunch of Josh Harts. With all due respect to Josh Hart. I don't know why he has to catch the stray.
So not game 2 Josh Hart.
Not game 2 Josh Hart, but it just wouldn't make sense.
Crazy. I do feel for the Met fans because
I don't think you do. I think you're enjoying this.
You were sold a bag of goods. No, I don't hate the Mets. I really don't. I honestly, I hated only the particular Met fan that tried to rub in Juan Soto to us Yankee fans. But for the most part, like, the Met fans in my life have never bothered me. It's like what Derek Jeter famously said in that documentary. It's the Mets, you know?
Well, doesn't it feel – because remember back during that 2024 run, we were, like, really close to a Yankee-Met Subway Series in the World Series. Doesn't that feel like – if you're a Met fan, that feels like a decade ago.
It's hard to believe. And you're right. It's not even June 13th yet when a year ago at this time the Mets were on their way to having the best record in the sport.
You were supposed to be, according to your owner, the Dodgers of the East. And you can't even make the playoffs. The Dodgers are here winning championships, getting all the best free agents, and you can barely like stay above 500. That's embarrassing.
They're the Angels of the East, the other LA baseball team, I suppose.
Maybe that's the LA team he really meant, right?
Yeah, it all makes sense. 800-919 ESPN is the number. Quick break. We'll come back. More of your calls if you want in on the conversation. We want to hear from you here on Memorial Day. He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asman. You're listening to ESPN New York right here on 880 AM, the ESPN New York app, and the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Chris Carlin with you. Glad to be joined right now by Taylor Canfield. He is the U.S. Sail GP team driver. And we are all getting ready for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming up at the end of May. Taylor, how we doing?
Yeah, we're excited for the home event in New York. And, can't wait to be there and racing in front of all the fans.
Tell us why fans should be excited for the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix.
The racing is just so exhilarating coming in and watching it from the shoreline of Governor's Island and in front of the Statue of Liberty, racing in one of, the biggest, most amazing cities in the world. I'm getting the goosebumps just talking about it. And, these boats are, the fastest boats in the world, racing, with the best sailors in the world. It's really cool. And it's going to be so electric in New York. And it's our home event this year. So we're pumped.
We are pumped as well. Taylor, we appreciate your time. He is U.S. Sail GP team driver, Taylor Canfield. We're looking forward to the Mubadala New York Sail Grand Prix coming at the end of May. Taylor, thanks.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back. This is John D'Agostino from D'Agostino & Associates, and I know how a serious accident can change your life just like that.
I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and I understand that with pain comes medical bills and time out of work. Let us get you justice.
This is John Ryan, the closer. For over 35 years, our family has been getting accident victims every dollar they deserve.
I started this firm for the injured so they can bite back against the insurance companies.
Our legacy is to get you justice. Bite back.
To get you paid. Bite back.
At D'Agostino & Associates, bite back means fight back. When you're hurt and they blame you, we bite back and get you every dollar you deserve. We have offices throughout New York and New Jersey, so call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. 1-800-248-3222. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
First, I take a sabbatical, then do absolutely nothing.
Glorious. But what? You'd win the New York lottery, then do nothing?
Well, I'd also commission a cutting-edge mobile bed, so I never stop doing nothing, even when I leave my house.
Okay, but how can you do even less?
Well, I'll spend 6 months living with a Honduran Capuchin monkey troupe to learn how to pick things up with my feet, so I never have to lift a finger again.
Oh, you'll be a hit at dinner parties. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Play today. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Jake Asman, Ty Butler in for Michael K. And 30 minutes of Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg with you till 3:30 here on Memorial Day. It's time for Game Time, which is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Yankees on the road facing the Royals at 3:40. That game is on ESPN, not on yesterday. It is a nationally televised Memorial Day game, so check that out on ESPN. 4:10, Mets host the Reds. You can listen to that game, of course, right here on our station, 880 ESPN New York, starting at 3:30. 8 p.m., Knicks look to sweep the Cavs. Coverage starts on 1050 ESPN and the ESPN New York app at 7. Knicks coverage will join in progress on 880 ESPN New York following the conclusion of today's Mets broadcast. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cast matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Ty, I just saw a video online of about 400 Knicks fans making the trip to Cleveland, starting their bus route right now. I think the Knicks might have put something together for their season ticket holders. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of all this. But there are going to be an enormous amount of Knicks fans in the building later. Cleveland is about a 6.5 hour drive from where we are here in New York City. And I checked the prices. The get-in price for the game later, you can get in for $125. So this is going to be MSG Midwest potentially later for this one tonight in Cleveland.
Think about how demoralizing that has to be for players, right? And like CJ talked about it in the first round. Maxey spoke about it in round 2. Donovan Mitchell, I think I saw a clip of him talking about like the Knicks fans traveling. Like you think that you are getting like this massive advantage, especially in the playoffs when you return home, because all your fans will be in that building. Your role players will play better. And yet, like, Deuce hits a shot, and it's Deuce. Jalen's getting MVP chance. And now you're in a situation where if you're a Cavs fan, like you're obviously selling these tickets because no one thinks they're going to come back and win this series. And how could you, after what we've seen in back-to-back games, like how could you even think they're going to win this game tonight? I just thought that they were shot at the end of game 1. And so, yeah, I expect to see a ton of Knicks fans in that building because think about it, there is a generation of Knicks fans who've never seen their team get to the finals, bro.
Nope.
Like, this is it for them.
It's like, it for me.
You hear about the 90s, right? And it's just your granddad talking about it, your uncle and your aunt. Like, you didn't get a chance to experience this. This is firsthand, so it hits differently. And I'm excited for the base. I know some of y'all think that I'm a hater just because I'm picking against your team in the finals, but I'm excited for y'all. This is fun.
Well, you make a great point. I mean, there's an entire generation of Knicks fans that they've never experienced this, and I'm part of it, right? Like, unless you're at least 37, 38 years old, do you really have any memories of the 1999 NBA Finals where the Knicks lost in 5 games to San Antonio? It was 27 years ago. Like, again, when you really start to have memories as a sports fan that you could remember, like when does it actually feel real for you? You got to be at least 8, 9, 10 years old to start probably feeling something. It's been forever, and that's what I think makes this run so special with this group of players. The build to get here and all the losing, the dark times. I mean, it's not that long ago that this team was in the basement of professional sports. When you did the conversation, worst franchises in sports, the Knicks were a popular answer. They were. Dolan, worst owner in sports. And it's just, here we are, a win away from going to the finals. And there's going to be so many Knicks fans there getting to experience it. And you just know, even with the Knicks on the road, the celebration outside MSG on 7th Avenue tonight, that's going to be insane as well if the Knicks clinch tonight. And I think they will. I do wonder, if the Knicks could survive maybe the early punch from Cleveland, they'll try and show some pride. Oh, we're not going to get swept. But if the Knicks are able to stay in the game, handle the early swing, I think Cleveland will lie down by the time we get to the second half. If it's close and the Knicks go on a run, I don't think Cleveland is built to come from behind. So if the Knicks can get up at any point, I think it's a wrap, and Cleveland's off to Cancun.
And that's the problem amongst many for the Cavs. I just don't think that they can win close games. Like their blueprint has to be,
especially after game one. Like I think that demoralizes a team.
You get into a close game, you've got arguably the best closer in basketball in Brunson, but it's not just him. The Knicks have a bunch of guys who are not afraid of the moment. We saw Shamit, right? Like Towns, of course, and Bridges and OG. Like these guys come up big in these clutch spots, whereas I watched the end of that game one, man. It didn't look like the Cavs wanted to shoot. Like they wanted no smoke with the Knicks. You saw it in their faces, which was so disappointing. You've got two Hall of Famers, first ballot guys, two first ballot Hall of Famers in Donovan and in Harden, and they wanted no smoke. In addition to the two Hall of Famers, you've got two other All-Stars in Allen, who obviously is not going to have plays drawn up for him offensively, but he's still an All-Star who missed 2 free throws. And you also have Evan Mobley, and they looked shook, man. They looked absolutely shook. And so I just don't expect them to come out. But I don't even know if we get that first wave, that initial punch.
You think the Knicks just punch him in the mouth and that's it, off we go?
History tells us that, right? Like the 51-point explosion in Game 6 against the Hawks. They dominated the Sixers in the closeout game. Like,
great point.
Why would I expect anything differently, especially when the Cavs lay down? Like that's the worst thing you can say about a team or a player, that they quit. And we saw that at the end of Game 3.
History on the Knicks side. The Cavs face a 3-0 deficit. 163 teams before them have been in the same spot. None have ever come back to win the series. There have been a 100 best-of-7 sweeps in NBA playoff history. Of the remaining 63 teams to go up 3-0, 47 of them won the series in 5 games. 12 won the series in 6 games. 4 won the series in 7 games. Cleveland is trying to join the list of 4 teams that was just even able to force a winner-take-all matchup. The Knicks were actually the first team to ever do that. I don't know if you remember the 1951 NBA Finals as the Knicks trailed the Rochester Royals 3-0, but they did eventually
remember a
force
couple
Game
years
7.
ago, the Celtics almost blew that or the Miami Heat almost blew that 3-0 lead to Boston.
That's the most recent example. Yeah, here are all the examples.
And then Tatum turned his ankle in the first play of the game.
Great point. Let's see. So the Nuggets did it against the Jazz in the conference finals in '94. The Blazers forced a Game 7 against Dallas in the first round in 2003. That was the first season that round expanded to 7 games. And the Celtics, as you brought up, Ty, they were down 3-0 to the Heat in the 2023 conference finals before losing in 7. So,
and
again.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
I was just going to say, again, there's some Knicks fans who'd love to see them, win Game 5 at the Garden and go to the finals. I don't think you want to mess with it. Don't let Cleveland get one. Just handle your business. Get rest. Don't risk further injury. Don't mess around. Just go out there and find a way to get it done tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say the Rockets in round 1 flirted with that against my Lakers. They go up, or the Lakers go up 3-0. Houston wins Game 4 at home. They then go to L.A. and steal one Game 5. And it's like, they're returning home for a Game 6. And then you get to Game 7, anything can happen. Who's the don't let us get one tonight for the Cavs? Like, who's that guy in their locker room?
It's definitely not James Harden. I can tell. I can rule out him.
He's got his vacation booked. My man wants to go get lit. I don't think they have that guy. Like, is it Max Strus? Just don't let us get one. Who is that guy?
Sam Merrill.
Yeah, Sam Merrill, who can't stop missing. And that's been the key too. The Cavs just can't hit a 3 to save their lives.
Well, that's why Atkinson says analytically we won to, because if you just look at expected shot percentage, the Cavs have missed looks they normally hit. But
analytically, I think we won 2 out of 3.
But, Kenny, I think part of the reason why the shots in real life aren't going in, I think that's where the fatigue plays a part in all this. They played a lot of games. They have played every other day for basically a month straight. If you look at Cleveland having to go 7 games in each of their last 2 rounds with very little time off, that is all advantage Knicks, and we're seeing that play out the longer the series goes.
Could you imagine, like, after the Yankees go down 3-1 in that World Series against the Dodgers, Aaron Boone has that quote? Like, analytically, we've won 3 or 4.
God.
Like, we would have destroyed him, and rightfully. And by the way, I'm using this as a joke. Would not have been shocked if he had said something like that. Like, that's the Aaron Boone lexicon right there. That's right up his alley.
That's the pre-2026 Aaron Boone. This year's Yankees operating with some aggressiveness. All right, some ferociousness out there.
Urgency is the word. Urgency is the word we're all using to describe the Yankees and that front office and the brass.
Your call's coming up. John, Gil, Rob, Dave, we see you. We'll get to you. Keep it right here. We're with you till 3:30. He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asman. In for K and in for DHR till 3:30 today here on 880 ESPN New York, the ESPN New York app, and the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
If you're heading into summer without a medical emergency kit, you're taking a risk most people don't think about until it's too late. Summer colds linger and can turn into sinus infections that last for weeks. Getting sick right now before vacation can derail everything. And when you're traveling, finding a doctor and pharmacy is stressful. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. It's like having urgent care and a pharmacy right at home. It includes essential prescriptions like amoxicillin and generic Z-Pak to treat a wide range of common and serious illnesses. So if you wake up sick at home or on the road, you already have what you need. No waiting for your doctor, no hours at urgent care, no pharmacy lines, no copays. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. Start on your meds sooner and feel better faster. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Calling all Hoops fans, are you ready for the NBA playoffs? Get in on the action throughout basketball's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an authorized gaming operator of the NBA. From same-game parlays to live bets, you can call your shot during any play. Rooting for your favorite players? You'll find all sorts of markets for betting on any star's performance on any given night of the playoffs. Don't miss a single highlight or buzzer-beating shot by getting all your picks in with BetMGM. Ready to shoot your shot? Download the app today. Make your bets and experience the thrill of the NBA playoffs like never before. BetMGM. Make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Big events are bringing more riders across the region. So if you're taking New Jersey Transit for everyday trips, plan ahead. Check schedules, allow extra time, and consider traveling outside of peak hours when you can. New Jersey Transit is running additional service to help keep everyone moving. But a little planning goes a long way. Stay aware, be courteous, and ride smart. New Jersey Transit, keeping your day on track. Plan your trip at njtransit.com.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
A another dominating step towards a championship.
And for the second consecutive season, the Knicks are on their way to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Will this be the year the Knicks punch their ticket to the NBA Finals?
Inbound stolen by McBride, and then Brunson buries a far-corner three. 5 points for Brunson in about 3 seconds.
Thanks to all our New York Knicks partners this season, including New York Presbyterian, NYC Department of Corrections, Boost Mobile, and the Parisman Firm on ESPN New York.
The Michael K. Show right here on 880 ESPN New York and the ESPN New York app. Jake Asman alongside Ty Butler. Yankees in Kansas City today. Mets at home taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Some injury updates involving the New York Mets. Francisco Lindor has started running and doing baseball activities. There's a good chance Jared Young will be activated tomorrow. A.J. Minter will go through his throwing progression today and could come off the IL tomorrow or Wednesday. Mendoza had no update on Luis Robert Jr. Jorge Polanco going through a full workout and will begin a rehab assignment hopefully this week. Francisco Alvarez has resumed baseball activities. There's a chance he could beat his 8-week timetable. And Kodai Senga is throwing a bullpen today, and the goal is for him to make a rehab start on Thursday. Ty, you got all that? Quite the flurry of updates there from the Met manager.
I guess that would be the answer to the question I posed to Lee in Manhattan. Like, if you are still trying to draw out some optimism, where does it lie? And it's, well, a lot of our best players who have been hurt, they're coming back. Only issue is you were bad before those players got hurt. That's the only problem. But obviously it helps to get them back in the mix here.
You flip the switch. Now, I was told by Matt Bumbaka that you have some sort of question for me.
Yeah. So I want to have some fun here, and I know we only got a couple minutes before the top of the hour. If the Knicks win the title, who are the biggest losers? Biggest losers of the Knicks winning the championship. Can I rattle off?
Yeah, go ahead. You got a list?
I've got some names here. Got to start with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, right? KD's my guy, my favorite player in the league. But, man, you had a chance to join the Knicks. People are going to be running through they aren't cool anymore. Mm-hmm. And this is the one fan base that would have had your back because he's got like this identity crisis. Which team is claiming him? No one. And if he wins a title with the Knicks, all that gets erased. So him and Kyrie, I think, become biggest losers. With all due respect to him because of the job he did in getting the Knicks to this point, Tom Thibodeau, right? Because this is like the DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard trade where you were knocking on the door, they upgrade, and then once you leave, you win a championship. So that's rough.
Buck Showalter for Joe Torre, Mark Jackson for Steve Kerr.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that similar trend. How about this? Employers in New York City. Knicks fans ain't going to work, man. They're taking the summer off. Like, that's it. It's over. It's over.
Justified.
It's over. But at the top of the list has to be Becky Hammon, which is pretty sad because I think that in real time she was right. You look at the best player on championship teams at that size, it's the greatest shooter of all time, the second greatest point guard of all time in Steph Curry. It's Isaiah Thomas, who was, one of the great all-time greats, and that's the entire list. But that video is going viral again if the Knicks win the title. So that's the list I've come up with so far as biggest losers if the Knicks win the championship.
I think it's a long list because there are so many people that have had just outlandish hot takes about the Knicks.
Throw Draymond in there too, I guess.
Draymond, a huge loser in all this, no question. He'd be on there. I think you nailed several of the key ones. There'd be a lot of people, though, in the national media with egg on their face, some of the receipts on what they said, not just about Brunson when he was signed, but just how big of a joke the Knicks were when they got rid of Tom Thibodeau going to Mike Brown. I won't name any names because I'm friendly with this particular person, but there was a talk show host in the city a week into the season who was calling Mike Brown Mike Clown.
Yeah, I love that. I took offense to that, man. Don't call y'all gotta realize you ain't calling black people clown like that. That's a level of disrespect, and I know who you're talking about. I hated that.
I just don't like name calling in general. Like, you could criticize, but I try to never ever make it like a personal insult with anything.
Well, because in certain communities, just to keep it a buck, man, That's fighting words, bro. Like you can't do that. So I hated that, and I ripped that dude once I saw that. But yeah, go ahead, continue your list.
No, I think I got to put together all the receipts. I don't want to jinx it either. You know, the saying you don't want to touch the money. Like, again, I think they're going to the finals. History tells me.
This is just in theory, though. We're having some fun.
In theory, there's a lot of people. I mean, that I responded to a Skip Bayless tweet the other day in a trolling manner where he's like, "Oh, congrats to the Knicks on getting swept by the Thunder." Meanwhile, the Thunder might not even get to the NBA Finals. So there's just a lot. There's for whatever reason, for a team that has not won since 1973, the Knicks, probably because it's New York, probably because of just how passionate the fans are. They have a lot of haters, so there's a lot of people that will eat crow if this team could win 5 more games and win a championship.
How about this? If we get our creative juices going, the New York Jets, biggest loser, because the Knicks are showing you, as you outlined earlier, man, you can have who people deem to be a bad owner, and it's still possible to win a championship. If you just employ the right people, and you haven't been able to do that, so the Jets become a participant on that list of biggest losers if the Knicks win the title.
They're further down the list, but I mean the spotlight will shift to them as far as like the teams in the city who have been historically bad and have terrible ownership. Like, again, you can't call James Dolan a terrible owner anymore. If the Knicks win a championship, that's just how it goes. We keep score based on championships. You can't say anything negative about the owner if they go and win a title here. Whereas from a Jet standpoint, once the Knicks, if in this scenario, if they were to win, longest championship droughts in New York sports right now, the Jets are now all by themselves. I mean, they already are since 1969, but like it was the Jets and the Knicks since 73. Rangers had 94. It's a while ago, but still. Mets have 86. It's a while ago, but still, you're talking about a Jets team that won the 3rd ever Super Bowl and has never even been back since. At least the Knicks, for all their issues in their history, they did have 2 finals appearances in the 90s with Patrick Ewing at the center of it.
Throw in the New York Mets, man, because for a while, that was like the Knick doppelganger. And all of a sudden, Knick fans are like, nah, man, you stay on that side. We're different. Like, we actually win championships. So the Mets, they have to. This was fun, man. I enjoyed that.
Keep Steve Cohen away from
MSG?
The NBA Finals. Last time the Knicks lost a home playoff game, Steve Cohen was at the Game 2 game.
Oh, we were both
the
there.
Yeah.
We were both there, and you pointed him out.
Keep him
so
away.
We just don't allow him in the building for the finals?
If you believe in karma or you believe in superstitions, you got to keep him away. Do you not?
Well, what if he's just like, hey, I got to get a look at how this thing is cooked because I want this for my team, and I need to be up close and personal.
You say, respectfully, sir?
We can't do that.
We can't have you here. Please. We can't have you here.
Imagine Steve Cohen being turned away by the Knicks. Security's like, yeah, man, you're not on the list. I'm sorry.
800-919-3776. John in L.A., some Landry Shamet appreciation. Hello, John. You're on with Jake and Ty.
Hey, guys. So I was in the Knicks were in L.A., and, it was my daughter's birthday, and I see Maurice Cheeks walking around on the street, and I'm like, oh, I guess the Knicks are staying at this hotel. So I walk around a little bit, and I run into Landry Shamet, and I really love Landry Shamet. I'll tell you why. He hunts the 3. He has a sweet jumper. He plays defense. He tries, and he can dunk on you, basically, and drive to the basket. So I run into him, and this is what I was feeling at the time because he was really balling at the time. I'm like, Landry, if I had a choice between you and John Starks, by the way, my license plate reads Knicks 3 for John Starks. I said, I would rather have you as our 6th man. And then he's like, stop. But he was a really nice guy. He took a picture with me, and for a long time, I was like, you know what? I jinxed Landry Shamet. I got into his head because he was playing horribly after that. I just want to say I'm so happy that he's playing well again, and he's been so important to our team. He's one of the main reasons why we're here. I hope he gets a nice big contract. He deserves it. If you guys don't know his backstory, he's got like a nice backstory. He's the underdog. I wish him the best. Let's go, Knicks. Knicks in 6 in the finals. The Knicks are looking better than they did a month ago. They're going to be very good in the finals. Let's go, Knicks.
from your lips to God's ears. But come on, I love Landry Shamet.
Yeah.
He's awesome. But John Starks is one of the greatest Knicks ever. Like, you can't tell me you'd rather have Landry Shamet than John Starks. Give me a break.
Where are these Landry Shamet dunks that he's talking about?
The man hits threes.
What's that about? Yeah, man, he went a little bit too far there. I don't know how the Knicks give him a big contract, and this is obviously a conversation for the offseason. You're paying Cat big-time money. Brunson's extension eligible. You've got the Bridges contract. You've got the OG contract. And with the second apron stuff, I don't know how you're paying all these guys, which makes it interesting to see what happens to both Deuce and Mitch. But again, like that's a conversation that you're hoping to have after you win a championship.
No doubt about that. Let's have that conversation after a championship parade. I think every Knicks fan is cool with that. He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asman. Normally, we'd be done on the K Show, but guess what? The K Show is morphing into Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg because we're taking you till 3:30. If you're watching on YouTube, stay right there. We'll have the final 30 minutes of our show live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel as well. He's Ty, I'm Jake. Back with more of your calls right here at 880 ESPN New York, the ESPN New York app, and, of course, the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
If you think a new central air conditioning system is out of your budget, think again. Slomin's is here to change the game with their preseason super sale. They're now offering cutting-edge 18-SEER 2026 refrigerant-compliant R45-4B systems expertly installed by their certified technicians, all at the lowest prices of the year. That's right. Get started with zero down, zero payments, and zero interest for 18 months. Plus, they're including a comprehensive service plan for 5 years, including annual system checks, filter replacement, and refrigerant to keep your AC running smoothly all summer long. Call Slomin's today at 516-932-7000 for your free estimate. But hurry, these cool savings won't last. That's 516-932-7000 or visit ac.slomans.com. 18-month promo period, no payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. The offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Did your dog just get groomed? She's got a pep in her step.
Actually, she's gotten famous. She's one of 18 dogs on the New Jersey Dog Scratch-Offs from the New Jersey Lottery.
What?
Yeah, New Jersey voted, and 18 dogs were chosen.
Well, look at her.
It's gone to her head a bit.
Play the New Jersey Dog Scratch-Offs, featuring 18 real New Jersey dogs and a top prize of $200,000.
Oh, are you a famous doggy? Yes, you are.
Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Partner with Amazon Hub Delivery to earn extra revenue for your business with your business. Assist with local Amazon deliveries and get paid for each package you deliver. When you become a partner, you and your staff will deliver packages to customers in your area on a schedule that works for you. You'll gain extra revenue, increase exposure for your business, and connect with your neighbors. Plus, it's easy to get started with no delivery experience, long-term contracts, or startup costs required. If you're interested in learning more, visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB Delivery.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
No Michael K. here on Memorial Day. Jake Asman, Ty Butler with you till 3:30. Mets pregame. Mets and the Reds today at Citi Field. Is it raining outside? I can't really tell. I know it's a little cloudy, but doesn't feel like the weather's as bad today as it was over the weekend. That's for sure. No rain in the forecast today. Just kind of cloudy, overcast skies here on Memorial Day. Ty, you and I were talking about this earlier, and you're spot on. The weather the rest of the week, gorgeous outside.
Amazing, bro.
Man, just can't get it right over the weekend, but from a Knicks standpoint, you don't care what the conditions are outside as long as the team is ready to go inside tonight when they're at, what is it called now, Rocket Arena? They changed the name of that place so many times. Knicks looking to sweep the Cavs and head to the NBA Finals. Can't believe it, for the first time since 1999.
Listen, we're both Yankee fans, so this hits a lot when I say it. There's nothing that quite hits the streets of New York City like the Knicks being good. This is like unlike anything I've ever experienced. And part of it is like the Yankees have to split the town with the Mets, Jets and Giants, Rangers, Islanders. The Knicks, they own all of the real estate, with all due respect to the Net fans. And so when you walk around, man, the energy, especially on game day, everyone wearing their Knicks gear, people are excited, they're hyped. Yo, I was leaving the Garden after, what was that, Game 2, right? And they had the watch party outside. So I went from being able to watch the game in real time because we were there to having to look at it on my phone, and obviously there's a delay. But I knew what was happening before I could see the play because you would hear the roar of emotion from the Knicks fans. And so Towns gets the ball dumped into the post to him. He's backing the dude down, and I knew he was going to score because I heard the reaction from the Knicks crowd. So it's just awesome, man. It's incredible to experience. Shout out to all the Knicks fans. Shout out to them. They have been on this journey, never gave up, despite, as we talked about, those lonely, lowly years, man. You've gotten some, like, flashes in the pan, like the 54-win season. Melo's a top 3 MVP candidate. But this is sustained success and one that you can enjoy and know that, look, regardless of what happens in the finals, it'll be disappointing if you lose. But, this team's got a bit of a runway here. So it's fun to experience that.
And I think sometimes in sports, we really overlook the value of team chemistry. And you're seeing that with this Knicks team. Like, it's all clicked. These guys have now played together for 2 years. They've added some complementary pieces to the bench. But the core of this team is the core that was in place a year ago. And a year ago, if you looked at all the numbers with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, especially in the playoffs, when they were on the floor together, there was a negative plus-minus rating. Now you look at it this year, and in these playoffs in particular, they are setting records. They have been efficient. They've been great. The Cats sacrificing scoring to be more of a point facilitator at the top of the key in a lot of their sets. It's been beautiful basketball to watch. It's been a different player seemingly every night. Josh Hart benched for the comeback in Game 1. He comes back with a career high in Game 2. Brunson, let's take the ball out of his hands. Only 2 points in the first half. Then he comes away with a career high in playoff assists. Whether it's Shamet stepping up or Deuce McBride at times, Bridges being consistent, OG playing like Kawhi Leonard with his ability to be efficient on both ends of the floor. It has been just a joy to watch this team and treasure it, Knicks fans, and really just fans of other New York teams who are also root for the Knicks. We might not ever go for the rest of our lives watching a run of dominance like what the Knicks have done. They got to capitalize tonight. I think they will. Yeah. I think they're headed to the finals, and we'll be getting set for either the Spurs or the Thunder, and we're going to have plenty of time to break down the better matchup and all that. But savor every moment of this because who knows the next time the Knicks are in this spot. You just never know.
And it starts with the captain setting the tone. So he takes that massive pay cut. And people are just like, whoa, bro, what are you doing leaving all that money on the table? But it then sets up the ability for Leon Rose to make these trades and to get this group together where you can pay Josh Hart, you can pay Cat, OG Bridges, and have a run at this thing. And for Brunson, he is now, with this brilliance and the team he is doing it for, 5 wins away from some like conversations about where he stands all time. Forget just like New York Knicks history, just like New York sports history. And again, premature right now because there's still a lot of work to do. And the toughest challenge will be the one that lies ahead in the finals. But if he's able to win this championship as a small guy, doing it in this town and beating that team that comes out the West, the conversations about where he ranks as far as New York sports athletes, that's going to be a fun one for us to have all summer.
I hope we get to have it. Gil in Brooklyn started off in our final segment here on the Michael K. Show. Gil, what do you got for us?
Gentlemen, how you doing today? Happy Memorial Day. I'm looking forward to this game tonight. Ty, I have 3 Nicaraguan cigars waiting for you. They're called My Father. If you can look them up, just look them up. My Father is the brand. Garcia family is are the proprietors. Look them up. I got one for you.
Okay.
But now they should win this. Get things over with so we can get the rest that we need. I don't care who we play. Only reason I wouldn't want to play OKC is because they're ball hawks. The one thing about this Knicks team is they're very sloppy with their handling of the ball, only because once you keep the ball out of Brunson's hands, they really don't have a guy that can handle the ball, get it across half court, and get the offense running consistently. Not do it, but consistently. And being at OKC or Ball Hawks, that's where I think our problem will come.
Yo, Gil,
we played them good both games this season, but
hang on, Gil. I'll let you finish your point. But the Spurs present those same challenges, man. Like Stephon Castle, Vassell, like those guys as guards get after it. Dylan Harper, like it's going to be a similar challenge.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't see them as that type of threat as I do OKC. We can run into them and have to deal with the ball pressure, but I don't think that they can do it for a full game or a full series against the Knicks. Where OKC, this is how they're built. They're ball hawks consistently. And that's why I think the Knicks would have a problem, even though I think, and I'm going to go with them to rock out and win this in probably like 6 against OKC. If it goes San Antonio, I can say the same thing. My gut is telling me San Antonio, I can see the Knicks going in 5.
Well, Gil, I'll tell you what. I hope we get a chance to see if you're right. I don't think it's going to be Knicks at 5, though. I hope you're right. I think no matter who the Knicks play, it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. It's going to be a long series.
Here's my question for Gil about his Spurs take. So the Spurs can do what he's saying they can't do against the Thunder, but then they can't do it against the Knicks in the 5. I just don't understand that take.
Both teams are excellent. I prefer the Spurs to the Thunder because I think the Spurs lack championship experience. And I just think the Thunder are the defending champs. It's tougher to knock out the defending champion that's played in the finals before than would it be a Spurs team that's doing this all for the first time. Again, in NBA history, usually you got to lose before you could just win. You don't just come into the league and dominate. Like Wembanyama's in his 3rd season. He's in the playoffs for the first ever time. He's just going to run all the way to a championship. Like, it typically doesn't happen. So I'll take my chances against the Spurs and their youth and lack of playoff experience against what I think the Knicks would bring to the table. Plus, I just think matchup-wise, we saw it in the regular season. The Knicks beat the Spurs 2 out of the 3 times they played for what it's worth.
So here's my problem. There are a lot of Knicks fans who didn't care about the regular season when doing the tail end of the tape for a potential Eastern Conference Finals, but all of a sudden the regular season matters again?
I don't put a ton of stock into it. I just think it's a better matchup overall to go up against Wembanyama. When you have Mitchell Robinson, when you have Cat, you have OG.
Those guys are not stopping Wemby, man.
No one's stopping Wemby, but you're trying to contain him, and you're making sure that no one else kills you. Like I think the Knicks I think their better matchup is against San Antonio. Not that they couldn't beat the Thunder, because the Thunder, they're banged up. I don't think they're as dominant as some expected them to be. I think the Knicks would have a chance against either, but if you're like, hey, who would you rather play? I just think the lack of experience for the Spurs, I think that matters when you're talking about winning a championship.
But I think that because we had this conversation on Thursday, and since then the A.J. Mitchell injury has kind of just like shocked and sent shockwaves through that Thunder organization. I think if you're San Antonio and you're good enough to beat the Thunder, then you're good enough to beat the Knicks.
Styles make fights, though, right? Sometimes it's about who you play.
Sure, but I actually think the team best suited to beat the Thunder are the Spurs because of how deep they are, the Wemby factor, their guard play, the defense. But listen, man, I tweeted this last night and people took exception to it. If Fox and Harper are healthy, the Spurs are the best team in the NBA, and they're going to win this series.
I'll tell you what, the Knicks hopefully get a chance to prove you wrong, Ty D. Butler. Dave in Westchester thinks the Knicks are winning a championship, right, Dave?
Well, no, I think they're going to win it, but I have a little bit different take. I just want to see what the percentages are. I'm about to ask you. I'm 63 years old. I saw the Frazier Monroe, championship. Is it because I have a bunch of friends who think it's all over, the Knicks are winning no matter what, and I got to calm them down. Okay, is it the Knicks are playing really well, they're playing great basketball, or is it like what I'm telling my friends, just chill out, okay? They were a better team than Atlanta. They're a better team than Philadelphia. Their center's limping around. He's injured. They're a better team than the Cavaliers, even if their best player isn't. He's injured. Donovan Mitchell, there's something wrong with him. Even if he's 100%, they're just a better team, okay, than those three teams. They're going to face a team that's equal to them or better than them. I already told my friends think, because I've been involved in basketball. I'm not going to give you what the hell I do, but I'm just telling you right now. They play San Antonio. Give the championship to the Knicks. They're beating San Antonio regardless of what Ty Butler says. Okay, if they play OKC is an experienced team. The only thing I'm a little bit excited about is they have some injuries. But if they play this other team, the Spurs, they're inexperienced. Wemby's the best player in the league by far, no doubt about it. But they're beating the Spurs. So I want to know, what is the percentage? Are the Knicks that good and they're playing that great of basketball, or did they just happen to play three teams that, if you asked them before the season started, who do you want to play in the playoffs? Everybody would have picked Toronto, Philly, Cavs, but it ended up Atlanta, Philly, Cavs. So are they that good, or are they playing teams that are that bad and they're that much better than these three teams? So the next team, they're not better than. Even if they play the Spurs, they're not better than that team. They're just going to beat them because the Spurs are very inexperienced, and they're young. They're a very young team. Even though they're better, they're young. Knicks are beating the Spurs, Ty. I've always give you guarantees. I don't think I've been wrong once. They play the Spurs. Knicks give them the championship.
I don't know if that part is true. And we appreciate the call, especially because I haven't been able to keep track of it. I don't know that last part is true.
Is he saying he's never been wrong ever? Like he's never once had a take that was incorrect in the history of giving takes?
Yeah, he's doing the Charles Barkley guarantee. I guarantee, and he's according to him, his hitting percentage, his batting average is 1,000, which I don't know that I buy into.
I'm not buying that. I do think part of the Knicks run, sure, is the level of competition, but I think if you're saying it's all just a competition, that's also being disingenuous if you're watching what this Knicks team is doing, how efficient they are. Again, there's been other years where the Eastern Conference or a particular conference has been weak, and no one has done through the last 10 games what the Knicks have done before. So something is happening here that should be acknowledged by the New York Knicks. You can't just say all these other teams are bad when, again, maybe some were picking the Knicks going into the playoffs, but a lot of people weren't. There were plenty of people who thought the Knicks were not good enough to beat the Hawks when they down 2-1. All the receipts are being taken from that I've seen. The same thing when they played Philly. Oh, Philly's a tougher matchup than the Knicks. They would have been better off taking on Boston. Oh, my God, Cleveland just beat a 60-win Pistons team. They're coming in red hot. They can't be stopped. And, again, the Knicks have answered all these challenges, and they haven't just won. They've won in dominant fashion. So they deserve immense credit for that. They do.
And that's the part. When you're stomping teams out in the playoffs, when – in theory, this is supposed to be the best competition the league has to offer, then you deserve credit for it.
Let's go to Rob in Merrick. He's up next on the K Show with Jake and Ty in for K. Actually, now
hey guys, how you doing?
Hello, Rob.
So, Ty, first of all, I appreciate the back and forth banter on Instagram. Thanks again for that.
Appreciate you. Ty D. Butler, by the way, for those of you who want to follow me. Go ahead.
When I try to compare Shea and Brunson and you give me the LOL like it's not close, I'm sorry, my man. That's not true. Brunson is playing at a level.
So Rob, let's accurately assess the conversation we were having. What you said to me was, when you look at the matchups in a potential Thunder Knicks NBA Finals, you said Brunson and Shea is a wash. And to that I said,
yes,
I disagree, because one's a 2-time league MVP, and if he wins the championship, will be discussed as one of the 30 greatest players in NBA history. One's a guy who is on pace to do something only 2 other guys in the history of the league has done, and that's LeBron and MJ. If he goes regular season MVP back-to-back, championship back-to-back, and finals MVP back-to-back, that guy you can't say in a matchup with Brunson is a wash. So let's be fair and accurate if you're trying to recite the conversation we're having. You may continue.
Okay, I'll give you a little edge there, but the other matchups I think equate. We do match up well with OKC. Now, the other little conversation, you had a perfect segue when you just referred to Isaiah Thomas, because I've been watching basketball since Isaiah Thomas was a rookie. I saw him on one broken leg score 20 points in the fourth quarter against the Lakers.
It wasn't a broken leg. It was a sprained ankle. It was a sprained ankle, but go ahead.
I'm exaggerating. But Brunson and my boys all agree is at that level. He's in that conversation with the level of player that Isaiah Thomas was.
And all I was saying was Isaiah Thomas, I think, might be the only guy in the league ever who had a winning record against Magic, Bird, and Jordan, all in their primes. Isaiah Thomas was the best player, and I get Dumars won one of the finals MVPs. He was the best player on a back-to-back champion, and I think he's actually become one of the most underrated guys in the league. I am not, pre-Brunson championship saying he's on par with Isaiah Thomas. I'm just not doing that. I've got too much respect for what Isaiah Thomas accomplished in this league.
I hear you. Now, what if the Knicks pull it off?
Then, like I said last segment, man, we're going to have different conversations. But that has to, and we appreciate the call, Rob, has to be coupled with winning the championship. We're not doing that before the championship run has concluded.
From a Knicks standpoint, I think Jalen Brunson moves to number 2 all time in Knicks history if they win a championship. I do. I think I think move over Willis, move over Patrick. I think Clyde is still number 1, but if you're doing a Mount Rushmore of Knicks right now, Brunson's at 4 already for me. And I said this last year when they got to the conference finals and got some pushback. And everything we have seen since has only, to me, further helped Jalen Brunson's case. Assuming they get to the finals here, to me, he's in rarefied air already, and he's only moving up on the all-time list. And with a championship, it'd be tough to not put him at number 2. Certainly at number 3 at the bare minimum if you want to put Willis Reed still in front of Brunson.
Yeah, and what helps him, oddly, right, Jake, is he is, significantly outplayed his expectations. Like when the Knicks signed him, what you thought you were getting versus what he's become, it's night and day. And you throw in the championship drought and the fact that, he has, in the biggest moments, has come up clutch. And you could argue he's the most clutch player in the league. All of that factors into what his overall ranking will be if the Knicks win this championship. And then it will be buoyed again by who they beat in the finals. It'll either be a 62-win Spurs team led by Wemby or Oklahoma City going for back-to-back championships.
Brunson, who had 30 in Game 3, now has 26 30-point games in the playoffs. It's the most in Knicks history. Again, he's an undersized guard putting up these type of numbers, and he has carried them in big moments, big shots. And we all saw him go into one of the more incredible performances you'll see in any playoff game in Game 1 leading that comeback. Javier in Queens is up next on our show today. Hello, Javier. You're on with Jake and Ty.
What's going on, boys? Thanks for taking the call.
What's up,
Appreciate
Javier?
you making it, man.
Sorry, boys. Sorry about that. So, listen, I think the conversation around the Knicks is just kind of getting a little out of control. Not that you guys are pointing it out, but I think a lot of people are kind of creating this narrative where, the Knicks need to apologize for this easy road that they're getting towards the finals, right? And very, very likely they're going to win tonight. It already sounds like it's going to be MSG Midwest, and the Cavs gave up in the last game, right? So what are the Knicks going into the finals potentially? They're 11 games in a row they have won. Not only are they winning these games, they're blowing these teams out. They have fresh legs. They are healthy, right? And they are locked in. What are San Antonio and OKC? Neither team are all of those things, right? Neither one of those teams is going into the finals as jacked up and as blessed as the Knicks are. So I have no prediction for the finals because we don't know who they're going to play. But why not feel amazing about this team? Like, everything is pointing in the right direction. Am I right? I understand I'm a Knicks fan, but, like, everything is pointing in the right direction for the Knicks right now.
100%.
So let's go.
Here.
Like,
You're
no
right.
fear.
You're
like,
right.
Let's
Great
go.
call. Yeah, I mean, look, again, the best case scenario for the Knicks is playing out before our eyes. If they win tonight and they get an extended period of rest, as the Thunder and Spurs are guaranteed to go now at least 6, maybe even 7, and there's more potential for wear and tear, injuries that will play a big factor the next time they would then play in the finals. They still would get 4 days of rest no matter what. The NBA finals don't start no matter what till June 3rd. So if you look at how it's positioned here, I pulled it up. If the Knicks close out Cleveland tonight, they're going to get 9 days before they play again. The Spurs-Thunder series winner will get 6 days if either team wins in 6 on Thursday, or 4 days if they win in 7 on Saturday. So still 4 days is enough to get a bit of a reset, but I don't think there's any denying the advantage the Knicks would be in just because of some of the injuries we've been discussing and the wear and tear and how physical that series has been. Knicks close out tonight. Ty, they are in a golden spot to have their best chance at a championship that we've seen maybe since the last time they won. That's how close they are.
And if they do that, they would have played 8 games in the 33-day span between the end of the first round and the beginning of the finals. So as rested as one could possibly be.
You just don't get that type of rest in the NBA playoffs. Let's squeeze in Brian in Rockville Center. Brian, we got about 30 seconds with you. Make it quick. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, guys, I'll make it quick. Just what you were saying before about Brunson set the tone by taking that pay cut. Everyone buys in. He's not a selfish guy on this team, and it's translating now. He does not get enough credit for that. And I'm just throwing out a complete hypothetical to you. If Jalen Brunson wins a championship this year, if we're talking about Mount Rushmore's in New York, if he wins one and Aaron Judge doesn't, does he surpass him on the quote-unquote Mount Rushmore of New York sports players? Thanks, guys.
He has to.
I think he does too, and I love Judge. But again, the Knicks are that one team that kind of unites everyone. And what a Knicks championship would mean, they haven't won since '73. As great as Aaron Judge is, I think Brunson would move in front of him 100%.
Now, Judge has all the regular season accolades with the MVPs and the batting title, but winning a championship usurps all of that, right? And doing it for this organization. So, I would say he has to surpass him.
Man, I hope we get to have these conversations. It's just crazy. People got to stop disrespecting Aaron Judge. Big walk-off home run yesterday in the rain for the Yankees. Ty, this was a ton of fun, man. Enjoy the game later. I know we'll be linking up at some point soon here.
Absolutely. You as well, my friend.
He's Ty Butler. My name is Jake Asmussen. Thank you to Tom and Matt for producing the show. Mets pregame coverage is coming up next on the station. Happy Memorial Day. Of course, thank you to all those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Let's go, Knicks. We'll talk to you later right here on ESPN New York.
Some stages celebrate. This one tests everything. Every drive, every approach, every putt. Pressure builds, resilience matters, and history waits for the bold. In June, the 2026 U.S. Open Championship returns to the Hamptons at the iconic Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Experience the world's best golfers as they compete on one of the sport's most storied stages. Daily tickets are available now on SeatGeek. Don't just watch greatness. Experience